Fair enough.
That's a very positive view.
I'd prefer to think of it as a realistic view.
You mean if their gods do not come down to Earth and do shit?
Yeah. I think
Racism.
American hegemony is about over with.
All right. Well, let's get going. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 527.
Oh, tell me we weren't online for all that.
No, we just started. We're good now. Investigating Star Wars racism problem. Star Wars' racism problem. Sorry, I pronounced that incorrectly because, words. This is the second part of a video we covered, I think, last week or so. And I gave...
Saturday or Sunday, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I gave up on it because it was dumb. And the person in question was just making bad references, making bad conjectures, and I thought it was worthless.
Basing everything off a single Reddit post and 2 Twitter DMs.
Yeah, that's probably not the best way to gauge a group of people from Twitter posts and tweets. That's not how you do it.
Not to a logical person, no.
Yeah,
you
usually
when you're a disingenuous, agenda-driven content creator.
Yeah, usually people when they talk about racism on Twitter, they say, "Oh, well, I get all these tweets from blah 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 blah." And there's popular people who get like dozens and dozens of the same, like, go kill yourself sort of tweet because you're this and that. So that sort of thing happens. And
which is still not a death threat, by the way.
Right.
Exactly. I know, like, that gets mixed in, like, 2/3 of when people say I got death threats, it's someone who said, go kill yourself, which is not a death threat.
Well, yeah, this is the whole retran thing with Star Wars. Like, we don't have any evidence still, and I don't think we ever will because...
there's one screenshot of like 2 Instagram comments, and there's a definitely real Facebook group where an anonymous guy admitted to it. That's all the evidence. Oh, and someone edited Rose Tico's Wikipedia page, which, unless Kelly Marie Tran runs that Wikipedia page, is not harassment.
Yeah, so... to do these things, you need proper data. You need some sort of survey. You need some sort of massive amount of either a scientific study, stats. Like, we're talking in the thousands to tens of thousands. The bigger, the better. And you can't just go by personal examples or anecdotal evidence. It doesn't work. So I really don't think Star Wars has a racism problem. I really don't think any fandom really does. And to say that with a few posts here and there is silly.
I think the Hitler fandom has.
Oh, the Hitler fandom. Oh, I haven't even thought of that. Jeez.
The people who make those damn formats.
I don't think they have a racism problem.
Are they on Reddit? I haven't seen their Reddit. There's somebody out there. There must be.
No, I'm sure they do not have a problem with racism.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I mean, I guess if you're looking from the outside in, maybe you could say it's a problem, but like, I think they're probably pretty happy being racist. So, who am I to judge?
I did see, what's his name, Asmodeus or whatever that YouTuber is. He has a Twitch channel, and someone was like, he's pretty popular on Twitch, and he was doing his own thing, playing, I think, Diablo Immortal, and someone in the chat was typing the N-word, and that was censored. Like, Twitch doesn't allow that. And his channel got banned on Twitch for someone in the chat.
For someone in his chat saying something?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a very strange story from him because he posts every day and people take his videos and clip them up. And I was watching and I was like, really? That's a weird Twitch rule. If you're that big, that's what happens. So... and that's just a word. That's just a bunch. Like, what happens in our chat all the time. We got people.
It's like half of the chat for this stream right now.
Yeah, I know. But it's fine. I don't really care. I'm not a big channel. And if I get canceled on YouTube, I don't care. I have other things to do. That's fine. So, anyway. We left off somewhere at 9 minutes. I don't recall. Mark just says halfway through, and that's fine by me. So let's do that. I'm sure
we'll get a nice recap anyway.
Yeah, as soon as I watch, I'll be like, oh yeah, this is why I stopped watching.
Oh, is this Is this the middle recap episode?
I don't remember where we stopped.
Previously on the problem with racism in Star Wars or whatever,
Yeah.
some guy complained about a Reddit post.
Yeah.
What will happen today? I don't know, but probably it will involve some guy complaining about a Reddit post.
Yeah, you could have been complaining about any social issue within a fandom, and it would be the same sort of evidence, same sort of reaction.
Yeah, all you need to find is 2 Twitter posts about it. Doesn't matter how much engagement they have because you can just hide it.
Yeah, well.
It does. You can make the tweets yourself. You can base it on one single account that hadn't posted in 10 years until it mysteriously resurfaced a month ago to make racist posts about Star Wars.
Or you mentioned the bell curve, or talk about psychology. It's the same thing, really. You're automatically racist. So, anyway, let's get going. We're at exactly 9 minutes, and good luck to your memory, because, good Lord, I can't recall. So, here we go.
And that Ingram's words are therefore untrue. The title then offers us a false dichotomy. Either Ingram's lying on purpose about this, or she's a self-serving ignorant who doesn't care about Star Wars. And if she is lying on purpose, that's even worse, because that means she's an agent of the woke agenda, infiltrating our sacred franchise in order to put...
Or it just means that she's a paid Disney shill who's trying to drum up sales and views for the new show.
I would go even
by
simpler.
ginning up a controversy about it.
Well, I would go even simpler. She's just an actress, and she wants publicity. And she's saying cool stuff to get attention.
And Disney decided that they'll run this with her, whether she wants to or not. And she just wants to pay the bills, maybe have a career, and is too blind to see that this will only destroy it in the long run.
She's an actress, hence she's dumb.
That's another
point.
Good, yeah, it's another good take. There's lots of simpler explanations for all this, and to read too much into a no-name actress no one has heard of playing a secondary character, or maybe a primary.
Well, she's apparently not secondary anymore.
Oh, she's a main villain.
No, I don't watch the show.
She's gonna have her own show.
Running the show now.
This is the This will be the typical thing of show about strong male character, in which strong male character is actually not strong male character anymore, but weak wussy counter image of strong male original character, who and the focus of the story will instead be on other female character that never existed before and now gets all the spotlight. She is super competent, everybody likes her, or if she is on the bad side, she gets a redemption arc.
Yeah, I can't
and
see...
the show
what
about
show are you referring to?
I can't see
Are
any...
you referring to
Halo?
Loki?
None of this...
Obi-Wan Kenobi?
There's no way.
Halo?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No one is going to watch this show.
Hawkeye?
There's no... Unless it was like a Wonder Woman miniseries that someone might actually know the name. I have no idea who her character is. There's no relation to Obi-Wan aside from when the Obi-Wan show hit.
Well, I don't know if she existed before this show.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure she was created for this show.
Yeah.
So
well, the thing with the spinning lightsaber thing came from the Clone Wars show, the 3D one. So that...
Well, I think the Inquisitors...
Yeah.
The Inquisitors are from...
Right.
Are from the Clone Wars show, correct?
Exactly, yeah.
Or they're from Rebels. Okay, whichever.
The worst
don't even know one way or another. I just... But, like... Yeah, she's not from anywhere. She was created by someone, the writer, who's never, like, watched Star Wars, clearly. And yeah, she's the formulaic female character who's there to take over the spotlight from the male character who was there before, like
who everybody
Hawkeye.
comes there to actually watch.
Well, I don't mind
something
I
don't mind a villain being a focus of a narrative. That's kind of important anyway. But to have a spin-off this early on is ridiculous. Like, that's just a rumor, so I can't really give it any credence. And I don't think that's ever going to happen because you can't just base it off what a bunch of studio execs think is a good idea anymore, because it's not going to happen. It's just, there's no way. Usually this is based around viewership and public opinion. And when you have a streaming service, it's whatever, it's kind of like the chef is the menu maker, and they can make any menu they want. They don't have to listen to their clientele because their clients are already paying. And they think, oh, you like Star Wars? We'll just make more Star Wars, and we'll try this thing that no one's ever seen and heard of. I just saw a post of KOTOR. There might be a KOTOR series coming out. It was originally announced in November, and there's another one that came out this month. But
it will have nothing to do with KOTOR, and HK47 will now make only politically correct jokes.
You know what? That might actually work if they just take HK47 and use him as a character.
Turn him into cringebot?
No.
No, thank you.
Not obviously not that angle, but because of the style of communication and dialogue that they've been doing for the past few years, if they have a robot that makes jokes that are, well, at least somewhere near the ballpark that was KOTOR.
Oh, you mean like the lead bot in Solo?
Well,
that made
not
jokes.
Solo. It was not the one in Solo. It was the other one in the other film.
Rogue One.
Yeah, that was closer. That was a little bit closer.
Yeah, that one was good.
That was
he
the
was
best
dry.
character in the entire movie.
Yeah,
yes, I agree. I completely agree.
Take that, just make it darker and make a lot more of those snide, accusational, passive-aggressive jokes, and you've got it. You've got HK47. So that could work. I think.
Yeah, and actual consequences for violence, not like this Filoni Mandalorian crap where 1,000 people shoot in the direction of a group and nobody hits anyone.
Yeah, I think it.
Fuck off.
At least there's more promising ideas in KOTOR because there's such a breadth of lore to work with, and we've seen that sort of robot humor before, I guess you can call. So
Their problem with storytelling is not a lack of lore to tap into. They don't want to tap into that because they want to tell their own stories, which are just social justice bullshit. It's every time the same story.
Well, I think the
it's basically their version, their corrupted, twisted, inverted version of the hero's journey.
Well,
the hero's journey is male character that everyone loved is now shit for no reason, and here's female character that is much more cool and important because we say so. That is the social justice hero's journey. It's mainly treating on the ground.
If they actually use the lore for KOTOR and KOTOR works out, they can easily transition to the second game, which is a female protagonist, and everyone will be happy, and it'll work out so well. So
it all boils down to like who's gonna direct and write that.
Who?
Really, like if it's gonna be the same person as the Obi-Wan show, I absolutely have no desire to watch it.
You know what? Mm-hmm. I said that about Strange New Worlds, and it's not a great show, but it's a very good show for the entertainment it brings, and the plots are consistent.
You're not selling it to me.
No. I'm not trying to change your mind on anything new trick.
I mean that is not.
There is like a different person than like the crew for Picard, right?
Oh yeah,
wow.
For sure. Yeah.
Of course, you like the show with the white male lead. That's why you love Picard, right?
You know what?
Because the white guy is the lead of the show. That's why Picard is the best one.
Good Lord, no.
And I was a kid. I thought Jean-Luc Picard is an Asian with a French name.
If you look at Captain Pike in Strange New Worlds, he's basically Proto-Kirk, but like ripped. Like he's this big dude, and he's so likable by everyone. So you can't help but just like this dude. And then he takes his shirt off in episode 6, so I think that's pretty attractive. But it's a likable show. It's not science fiction, and it's certainly not Star Trek. It's trying very hard, and all they're doing is throwing money at the sets, at the costumes, at the actors, at everything. And you look at this huge display of production value, and you're entertained. The problem is it doesn't really teach you anything about science or science fiction or technology or morals or ethics. But there are character moments, there are explosions, there's really good CGI, and a lot of the sets are very well done. They're not perfect, but they're very well done in comparison to what we got 30 years ago. So it's attractive to the average viewer. And I think Rich said it best from Red Letter Media. It's this whole new Trek thing is for dumb people to make them feel smart. And at least in Strange New Worlds, it doesn't insult someone who's not dumb. So that's at least a good bit. This is not science fiction. You should never use the science fiction.
That's where the bar is now.
You're beneath science fiction. You're at sci-fi level. You're at Star Wars action, adventure, high drama crap. That's fine. And if that's what you're using, your criteria is okay. Anyway, here is
say that new Trek stuff is beneath science fantasy.
No, that's a hard sell. I don't know, because science fantasy.
It is. I call it. What did I call it?
Like
soap operas with a technology skin.
Well, okay. Shannara is like science fantasy. That series was.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh,
That's not what I'm. That's not what I'm talking about. Star Wars is more close to science fantasy because, there's tech stuff, but it's not explained. It's just there and it's used.
It's sci-fi.
Yeah, it's just sword and
driving
sorcery,
the story.
only in space.
Yeah, and there's aliens for the sake of aliens.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that because that's just like the aliens in Star Wars are like the different magical, mystical races in a fantasy story. Okay, no problem there. Actual science fiction is something that deals with the in the story manifested idea of a technology, be that a physical technology in the sense that we all think of first, or a cultural idea, or a how would history have gone in this other culture that was parallel to us but made one or two distinct different decisions, and now they ran off into something completely different. That is what science fiction does. The last one is the travel from world to world and look at weird cultures thing.
Yeah,
Orwell does that because the important part about that is not just explore the technology we think about, but leave the question of judgment open to the viewer. Do not preach about this is good, this is bad, this should never be done. No, you leave it open to the viewer, to the reader.
Yeah, the setting.
That's what the Orwell does.
The setting is not
science fiction.
How does Seth MacFarlane do that better than Star Trek?
The exact same reason why the Batwoman porn looks better than Batwoman.
Because the creator actually cares.
Yes.
All right. Well, we can talk about other shows. Let's get back to the video. Here is Giga Chad. Thank you.
I thought you were going to say we could talk about Batwoman porn.
I would love to talk about better shows, but
Batwoman porn.
I'm just happy to note that we're getting actual emotions out of Sir Axelot.
Now I gotta know if Batwoman is actually any good. The porn show, not the actual.
I'm too dead inside to normally display emotion, so.
But you are laughing.
All right. Here's the Giga Chat. Thank you, sir. It's not a racism problem. It's a racism solution. Also, Wisp, what do you think? The thing in the last video where the op accused the criticizers of the Kenobi actress of taking things out of context, does that count as gaslighting?
I wouldn't call it gaslighting.
I'd have to.
Neither would I think like they're just too retarded to understand like what's happening.
Because gaslighting would be if it was like, I don't know. That's not really. Because gaslighting is about like making you, trying to make you doubt your perception of reality, right?
Yes, it starts with vehemently, knowingly stating the opposite of reality. That's what it starts with, and this confidence in that, doing that with utter confidence, that is what can lead to you questioning your perception. It is intended to brainwash or to break you. So either you submit to the bullshit, or you break under it. or you lash out, which usually gets the cops involved, which is also what the gaslighter wants, because then the gaslighter can play victim.
Right. And that's one of those terms that gets way overused. I see it a lot where people will say you're gaslighting me about something that's ultimately just like...
Yeah, it's when the wider population gets hold of the term, and then they never know what they say when they use words. That's the problem.
There's a lot of buzzwords
but it also means that the term gets more commonly known as well, which is the positive side of that.
Which is going to water it down, and then it's going to be used a lot, and it's like, oh, you're just saying shit. That's the new gaslighting.
Well, one thing that gaslighters will do all the time is, once they are aware of the term gaslighting, is that they will accuse you of gaslighting while they gaslight you. They will gaslight you about the gaslighting. That is, it is inevitable, you could say. They have to do it. Once they know about the term, they will use it against you.
I think
they will accuse the target of the gaslighting the gaslighter.
I think, Mark, were you ever accused of gaslighting at your job before? Is that something that ever happened?
All the time.
Really? They actually use the word gaslighting?
No, they never have used it.
Oh, it happened to me once years ago, and it was the first time myself and my boss at the time was like, "What the hell is he talking about? What the hell is gaslighting?"
It gets scary when a therapist gaslights you while claiming to not know what the term gaslighting is, while sitting next to a book titled Gaslighting.
Finally, Bears is here.
Oh, good. We can finally talk about racism.
Yay!
Yay!
Sorry, I had to return some videotapes.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty, so we're at...
Did you just get back from 1997?
Look at my profile pic.
It's beautiful, thank you. What? It's strange but beautiful. Anyway, we're at 9 minutes 22 seconds. We're finishing off the last half of this video, and we are speculating on the nature of the actress who said the terms about whatever, and this guy is rambling on. So good luck trying to interpret what he said. I could barely recall, so we'll just keep playing.
He said something about how she had to have... It's a false dichotomy because she's either never seen Star Wars or that she's an agent of the woke agenda or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a false dichotomy.
Which is true.
No, I think she's just paid by Disney to trump controversy to promote their show.
So she's an agent of the woke then.
Maybe an unwilling
being
one.
an agent of something doesn't necessitate that you believe in it. You only care about the paycheck.
Yeah, I don't know. She might be a true believer.
An agent of the melanin.
Who knows?
Anyway, let's go.
In any event.
Estrogen in the action figures and turn all the Chad Star Wars enjoyers into Joe Biden's femboy army, or whatever the fuck the secret endgame of the woke agenda is supposed to be this week. At this point though, we can't even say for sure that these implications in the post are intentional. It might simply be that OP was parroting the bigotry they'd seen elsewhere in the fandom.
Or he thinks she was dumb. Maybe OP just thinks that she was being dumb by saying there's never been a person of color in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
You see, the simple answers are usually the best.
And like he's doing the same thing where he's setting up a false dichotomy where either this guy was ignorant of what the evil whoever, whatever, insert buzzword, whatever the fash were saying, or he was part of it. It couldn't be that, he's just like a regular person who read that article and said, what is she talking about?
Yeah, this is why I stopped the video last time, because it's not a false dichotomy. He's inventing a false dichotomy, or a false, whatever you want to call this nonsense. So it's pointless to think along these lines because it's all in his head.
Oh, my word. A leftist projecting things onto other people. This is so unheard of.
Unbelievable.
It took 9 minutes to get there too. Like, wow, dude. Thank you. For analyzing.
We just had another incident of first black character ever.
Oh, did we?
In the new Street Fighter game is the first black character in Street Fighter ever.
Black character in Street Fighter, even though there's been a black character in Street Fighter since what? Street Fighter
Turbo
2?
DJ?
I don't know.
Yes, two.
Huge
Or
Street
Blanca?
Fighter fan.
Blanca was black and they became a giant green monster.
Oh, Blanca was black? I didn't know that.
Well,
But like in any case, DJ.
DJ, yeah.
But it only counts when it's a black vagina.
Oh.
No, the argument wasn't that it was
No.
the first black woman. The argument was that she was the first African American character.
Wait a second.
And
Who
the other
gives
character
a
didn't
shit?
count as black
So
because she was from Kenya.
Okay. So
Africans don't count anymore.
does
Africans
her
have
fighting style revolve around weave pulling and spitting in your face?
So non-American blacks are now moved down on the totem pole.
No, that's actually been a thing for a while where American blacks will consider themselves separate from African immigrants to the United States. It's I don't know, the term that I saw get thrown around for a while is like ADOS.
What?
American descendant of slaves.
Wow.
ADOS.
In order to set themselves apart from Africans when it comes to.
I was only aware of the other way around of African American immigrants resenting the black Americans that just have this victim complex all the time.
Oh, you know
that's what I was aware of. I didn't know they were playing it in the other direction.
We totally forgot about Balrog. Thank you, Darian Gatewood, in chat there.
Yeah, because a lot of them are fetishizing Africa while knowing nothing about it.
Well, I don't count Balrog because his boxing style is absolute ass compared to Dudley's.
Well,
but that's just me.
Culturally, I don't think he's very African. He's more like just your guy from America.
He's a guy from Chicago,
Yeah.
essentially.
He's just the boxer guy in Street Fighter 2.
Now, Dudley is the boxer guy.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have you know.
But isn't then the criteria for high melanin count American fulfilled?
Yes. Especially because it's being made by a bunch of Japanese people.
Yeah.
That have only ever seen black people on TV.
Yeah, and this is all from the wonderful Street Fighter 3.
Or they ran into like the odd soldier stationed in wherever. I don't remember where the
Okinawa.
U.S. military base is. Is it on Okinawa?
I think one of them.
Anyway. Or they've played Yakuza because it has Gary Buster Holmes, who's the best character in that franchise.
All right.
Not really.
Here is the Giga
Best
Chad.
character is Majima, but you know.
One more time. Kind of the big reason I said it was gaslighting. The guy is clearly misrepresenting the man. I refuse to believe he's just dumb. I think he's deliberately being obtuse. He might as well say, there has never been a Star Wars film. This statement is so wrong. Usually,
the last fucking video, he's like, well, look at all these black people. Now let's see all the black people that were in the very first movie that was made in England in 1976. Oh, there's no black people here, then Star Wars is racist. What?
Uh-huh.
That's a retarded argument. That's a malicious argument.
Well, I've heard
what he's doing is it is definitely misleading. It is a straw man, and in the widest sense, you can put all of these manipulation attempts under gaslighting. You can also put it under spin doctoring.
Yeah, I think that would be
And-
more what it is.
Well,
And a spin doctor's job is to gaslight,
Well,
essentially,
what he's
if you want to
doing-
use that term.
in arguing terms, he's arguing from ignorance. So he's starting from a place of I have no knowledge and I'm going to feign ignorance. So I'll just look at the first film and say, well, the first film didn't have any white or black dudes or black girls. Therefore, that's what's that is. He's not saying it's racist. He's just saying that's what's there. So that's kind of his start, and then he just jumps into racism like 30 years later, which is weird. So you can't just start, well, they didn't have that many actors that were this or that type, and now they do. And you're like, so therefore it's no longer racist, right? He didn't make that connection.
Wait. The moment they had the money to shoot somewhere other than England, they hired a black guy to be one of the major characters in the franchise.
Yeah, it's not a big
Even
mystery.
before that, because he still left out James Earl Jones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's because this is it's Schrödinger's black character. If it's convenient for we have cool characters, then Darth Vader is black because James Earl Jones voiced him.
But
If we have to talk about the racism, then Darth Vader is not black because he's been played by a white man.
But originally, the actor playing Darth Vader was saying his lines, and George did not like the voice. Like, he didn't say disliked it, but it wasn't powerful enough. He wanted a big, booming voice. And,
Yes.
And they went to go hire someone else. And they found this guy was he from Mississippi or Boston? I can't remember where James Earl Jones came from, but he was a young guy at the time. So it didn't sound perfect, but it sounded all right for the domineering presence that was Darth Vader. So
As opposed to a guy that sounded like a Scottish heroin addict.
a Scottish muscle man fellow who was rather kind and nice.
He sounds
Yes.
the original Darth Vader, like the whoever the actor in the costume is. He sounds like Rick Moranis in Spaceballs.
Oh no.
Like, if you've ever listened to the original footage,
Right.
it genuinely sounds like Dark
Yes.
Helmet.
David Prowse.
Scottish dark helmet, yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Now, like, you could maybe have put a filter over him to make him sound more intimidating, because I think they did that with James Earl Jones.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, yeah. There's
but-
some actors who
But I
can really well change their voice just for the role. Getting into that, the one I forgot the name, who played Scorpius in Farscape. When he talks normally, when he's not in the role, you would never guess that is the actor of Scorpius. Sounds like a completely different person, much deeper voice. But for the role, he talks in this almost
What's the character's name?
snake-like Scorpius.
Yeah, from Mortal Kombat.
No, that is Scorpion.
Wayne Pygram? Pigram?
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds
I've
right.
never heard of this person. I need to find
Amazing, absolutely amazing
what
actor.
has he been in. Because I never
Farscape.
watched. I watched like the first episode of Farscape. Apparently, he played Governor Tarkin in Revenge of the Sith. Why didn't they cast him for Rogue One if he already played Tarkin once instead of doing?
Instead of doing fucking claymation, like PS2 graphics. Yeah.
They had him. I think they had him as a body actor, but they were really into putting the CGI on the actor himself.
The beauty of that CGI was they already had a mold of his face from, the 70s.
Yes, and that's how they used it.
Which is amazing that they still had it, but at the same time, you could probably hire a guy from ILM anyway to do an amazing job. So I guess that sped up the process? I don't know. So,
Bro, like, the fucking Photoshop job I did on my profile pic looks better than Tarkin did in Rogue One.
Yeah.
all right.
So I urge everyone to watch Farscape. There are several great characters. Wayne Pygram, the Scorpius character, is one of the best villains you will ever see on TV, and
Wow.
it has some writing issues, yes, and that's it. So
I've heard it's a good show.
It's
it has to grow into itself a little bit, but yes, it is the craziest science fiction show that was ever made, minus Lex.
Good point. Yes.
Was Lex that show about like
No.
he's like a janitor or something who steals
It's a Superman
ship?
prequel show.
Was that the one I'm thinking of, where it's like a janitor or whatever who steals a ship and he ends up palling around space with a prostitute or something?
Kind of.
It's worse than that. Anyway, that's fine.
I think I own a couple episodes of that on DVD.
Just think of a giant mosquito and sex and dismemberment. There you go.
No, don't. Just don't.
Anyway, let's keep going.
With thinking through the implications of their own post, as we've done here. But even if the fascist dog whistling isn't intentional, the more boring standard racism surely is.
Wow.
But before we get
Standard
to that,
racism.
let's dismantle
Why is it
this meme
racist?
and its twisted
The standard
logic
racism of pointing out that people
Here's
have
the
been in
trick.
this franchise before.
Yeah, he's like, maybe the fascism was unintentional, but the racism wasn't. But you just said it might not be racist.
Also, you invented the fascism out of nowhere.
And the full logic.
Yeah, apparently it's fascist. Fascism is when you think that there have been black characters in Star Wars before.
Why not just say illogic, not faux logic? I've never heard faux logic before. The non-logic.
Maybe he misspoke and went to say factism.
I don't know. I don't speak British.
It's like I saw this clip of like a protest that just happened in Texas. And there was some guy who was getting blocked from walking down the street by a bunch of masked guys who were like, leave the kids alone, or whatever. And the guy who posted the video said that the guy who was being blocked was like chasing a family with children. And he said that he was a fascist, but not a Nazi. And I said, like, okay, yeah, that's not here, so like, I don't believe you. And someone's like, no one cares what a Nazi like you thinks. So apparently Nazism is when you don't believe things that aren't real, is my point here.
That is exactly what the Nazi is.
You know, maybe it's not a good idea for the left to give Nazis that. Like, oh, it's Nazi to believe in objective reality. Like, that doesn't help prove your point. That actually makes you look very bad.
But without subjective reality, our whole ideology falls apart. Can't keep believing in communism.
What? You mean it's all a social construct and we've been living a lie?
Yes. If your ideology requires magical thinking, then you need to abandon it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like all I had to do for this was to say there's no family with children in this video, and he does not call himself a fascist at any point. And that was enough to get me called a Nazi and a racist and all manner of other things. And then the guy was like, oh, well, there's other videos like this one. And it was another video where someone else said something you couldn't understand. And I'm like, what's really fun about this is the only reason you say it's the same guy is because they're both black. They weren't even dressed the same.
Bruh.
It's like, one of them had hair and one of them, his head was shaved.
See, the guy was a mage. He's a black mage. He used prestidigitation on himself.
Yeah, it's like apparently a few hours before the events in the video, he shaved his head and changed his clothes and lost about 30 pounds.
Well, I mean, on top of that, you'd have to go home, because when you shave your head, right, and when you have a lot of hair, the hair is just kind of cling to your body and make you itchy all day.
No. He had hair in the video that happened later in the day. He unshaved his head.
Oh, so he went to a GTA barbershop and grew hair.
Exactly.
Okay.
Not even my people recognition is so botched. It is botched, but not that botched.
All right. Anyway, let's go.
Feigned outrage at this perceived lie, upon which this whole conspiracy of malice depends, results entirely from an unreasonably literal interpretation of Ingram's words.
That is what people should do.
So they
mean the things they say literally.
They read the words and then took the words to mean what the words mean. What Nazis?
Well, he's going to tell us we're wrong.
No reasonable person would see these words and assume Ingram actually believed that no person of color had ever existed in Star Wars.
But she said.
It says, so we're just at the beginning of that change.
Also, bringing the most
obvious
diversity.
implication is that this is a new phenomenon.
We are
Also-
mostly at the beginning of it.
Like,
This
she
is not
thinks that-
some weird,
she thinks
uncharitable reading.
By
It's what she
virtue of
said.
her being in this show, just by her being in this show, they're getting the most diversity Star Wars has ever had before.
Yeah, by that. So, but
Are you insane?
Even if we could be lenient and interpret her words as maybe she means beginning with this decade. That would then be 2020, and it would still be wrong.
That'd be wrong by 4 decades.
And this is...
She said
That as well.
Obi-Wan is going to bring the most diversity I think we've ever seen in the galaxy before. We saw the Imperial or the Republic Senate in Revenge of the Sith, which had
How many aliens were there?
tens of thousands of species in it. So no, to me,
they were
it's
not
long
black.
overdue.
They were
If
not
you've got
black
talking
Africans.
droids and aliens, but no people of color, it doesn't
Only-
make any sense. Only you did.
Because she's literally
Only
saying
black Africans
that
count.
there's
That's
droids.
the only
It's
thing.
2022, you know.
The only measure for diversity is how many black Africans do you have?
It's
Nothing
an
else
unironic
matters.
current year argument.
Right, and
Yeah.
she's looking at the droids and aliens in your Star Wars, which is already, what you're talking about, a space opera, is what we want to see anyway. We don't care about minorities or majorities. We care about what's the cool character, what do they look like, what do they do? And she's saying, no, that's not diverse. It's who are the black people? Where are they?
Yeah, it's as I've been saying. Diversity is only measured by the count of black people you have in your media or in your group or in your population. It doesn't. Asians don't count. Slavs don't count. The various European cultures don't count. The various Asian cultures don't count. Aliens from all across the galaxy, if not the universe, don't count. Only black Africans from Earth. It's the only thing that is in any way relevant, which is
And only
why
if they're
it is
not playing
completely
aliens.
justified. Which is why it is completely justified to call these people and her, by extension, because she jumps on board of this, black supremacists. If these people were this dreaded white and talked the exact same way about white being the diversity thing that needs to be proved, everybody would call them Nazis. So, and they do believe in socialism, communism. So maybe they are just black Nazis.
And then let's see. So we're just at the beginning of that change. The beginning of that change.
Yeah, and she says,
But
I think to start that change is better than never having started it. She says she marks the start.
This is gaslighting. He is reading, he's showing you this and telling you not to believe what you are reading.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, you shouldn't
This
take
is gaslighting.
You shouldn't take it literal what she's saying. So then what
You
what
should
should-
interpret
what-
it in
how-
a very
how
specific
much-
way so that it makes me look better.
How much do I need to contort my brain until these lines do not mean what they mean?
This guy would have made a perfect Jehovah's Witness.
It's
It was like all those Bible verses about how like God is like 1 and 3 in the same time, you just look at that, and then with my magical contortion abilities, it becomes that doesn't exist.
Does
We'll ignore
this
that.
constitute
And it's-
pornea? Yes.
and
it
it's
does.
like it's like like defund the police in the U.S. last year or over the last couple of years, where you would say, you would push back against it, and it was like, oh, defund the police doesn't mean defund the police. It's like, then what else does it mean? We know what it means.
Also, side note, I like how we're defunding the police and also taking away people's guns. Like, who does that benefit? Certainly not the average person.
All right.
You're only taking away legal guns. The number of illegal guns is still the same, if not higher.
All right.
Well, it's a good thing that guns are not possible for average person to make.
No, but if we
easily.
defund the police, then criminals will stop being criminals and they'll give up their guns.
Yes,
We should
exactly.
just make it illegal to own guns, so they will no longer keep the illegal guns.
Right.
That's gonna solve everything. But by the way, I had an exchange with this fellow on Twitter, and it was a mistake. But he had like that stupid meme that like, I'm not racist, but I don't like Reva's character. And then they say like, why don't you like Reva's character? And it was the NPC meme. And I replied to him like the same kind of thing that like, well, Riva is a well-written character. Why is he a well-written character? And then he replied like, well, I'm gonna make a video in a couple of weeks. Are you still gonna say the same thing? And I said yes.
It's like,
I'll
do you
show
think
you in a
nobody's
couple
made any,
weeks.
do you think nobody's made any videos about why Reva's a badly written character?
It doesn't matter. Like this guy is gonna open the video and he's gonna say like, he didn't say a single thing that will make so that like Riva is a bad character. Riva always has been a good character. Like, look, she's black.
But like that, it's like, it's easy to make it so that your opponent doesn't have an answer to your question when you don't read what they're saying first.
Entirely disregard any criticism. I just
Also,
regard
like-
it as like racism.
I like the fucking. Think about this in real life. Okay, so a guy bumps into you, and he says, "Fuck you, motherfucker!" Shoves you. You shove him back, and he's like, "Let's do this." You square up, and he says, "I'm gonna kick your ass in 3 to 4 weeks."
It's
Like-
just, evidence does not matter to these.
It doesn't really look good for him because like Riva is getting like worse and worse with each episode. Like the latest one was just like amazing. She
Riva
was
is
about
apparently
to
getting
die.
bad enough that that people I know who are real casual Star Wars fans, those people are starting to turn on her.
Oh,
They're like, oh wait, she's actually
Rings of
kind of a
Power
lousy
levels?
character. Why was she not why did Darth Vader not kill her at the end of the last episode?
Darth
Was
Vader
something
makes
I
like
saw a
no
lot,
exceptions so far.
which I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened because I haven't watched anything from Star Wars since The Last Jedi. But oh no, I watched one episode of The Mandalorian. But that's something I heard a lot. So I don't know what happened, but like if the just regular Star Wars fans I know are saying that, it must be a real problem.
Why, it's almost as if she has some kind of, I don't know, like politically induced plot shielding that keeps her from experiencing the negative consequences of her actions when it doesn't for
Like, she's purposely
all
dumb.
the white male characters that fucking Darth Vader's choked out. You know?
Because there has been like another Imperial character that was also black, like Giancarlo Esposito and the Mandalorian. And nobody complained that he was black because everybody loved that character.
I also wouldn't say that Giancarlo Esposito is black, but
Well, he's mixed Italian and black too. There, I know, but he's black looking enough.
And that's really all that matters, though.
All right, here's...
I don't know
That's
a
like
ton
the
about
metric that
him.
they go by. Like, does it really matter?
Okay.
I don't know anything about his character either. The only thing I know about him is that he was in Breaking
black,
Bad, and that
And now he's
behind
always-
the scenes video from Far Cry 6.
And now he always has to play Gustavo Fring.
All right, I got to read these 2 donations and we'll keep on going. Here's Mr. Ku Klux Krabs. Thanks for the 1.
Ew.
She didn't mean the words she said. Then why did she effing say those words? Jesus Christ, since we don't care about words mean anymore, I can say that this guy just denied the Holocaust because of the words he used and advocated for returning slavery. Ooh, well. Sure. I don't know about that interpretation, but
I agree. I could use
Well,
a couple slaves.
Words
yeah.
mean whatever you want them to mean, so
Nothing is
I think
true.
he's
Everything
right.
is permitted.
all right. Here's Harry Squatter Boy Who Lifted. I think
Harry Squatter, the boy who lifted.
something like that. Okay.
okay, that's pretty good.
It's like how black communist groups say when we say white people are the root of all evil and we need to kill them and their children during a revolution and get confused when they get called violent psychopaths by everyone who doesn't piss in bleach. Oh.
It's like when they talk about needing to abolish whiteness. It's like, can you explain to me the functional difference between whiteness and white people? No? Anyone? I've never gotten a satisfactory explanation. I get explanations, but I've never gotten one that didn't make you sound like a complete nut bar if you said it.
But don't you know that race is a social construct?
I kind of realized something. Like, she's called Moses Ingram. And like Moses, like it's a Bible reference. She's trying to divide the fan base.
I genuinely don't know why she goes by Moses when I doubt there's a Monique Ingram who's registered with SAG. Because typically when you see somebody make a name change when they become an actor, it's because a lot of times it's because there was someone in SAG who had that name already. Like there was a guy named Michael Douglas, only there was already a Michael Douglas in SAG, so he went by the stage name of Michael Fox.
Or Mike Myers.
No, Michael J. Fox. Because that's what you have to do because it's a quirk of SAG, is that you can only have is they only allow one person with a particular name to register with SAG.
For branding.
All right.
It's a very film actors guildy kind of thing to do.
Yeah, I have one question about the name of the character. Is it pure coincidence, or is there some intention behind naming this completely original and creative character Reva? Or is that some sort of jab at Revan?
Well, compared to
That's a great question.
Compared to the other names that have been in Star Wars, this is actually not bad. So I'm okay with Reva.
Oh no, it's not a bad name, but it sounds a lot like Revan. That's just one.
Correct that it's a letter away from Revan. So.
That's just one letter missing, and we know that these people like to destroy characters. So she may not be Revan.
Well, BioWare did that just fine on their own with Revan.
Yeah, let's not even talk about that. I fucking hate that writer still. I can't believe that he was the same guy who wrote the first game.
Who wrote The Old Republic, really?
Yes, it's the same guy. He wrote the book as well, the Revan book. I hate that too. And then he went on to work on the MMO.
That's the one where the exile gets stabbed in the back by...
Yes, that's his idea. Yeah. I don't know, like if he had like a hate boner for Chris Avalon and like the entire Obsidian team, but it's like all these inventions from the second game. Okay, fuck this main protagonist, fuck the drone.
I mean, that's the thing is KOTOR 3 should have been... I think if there had been a KOTOR 3, which I don't know who you can blame for it, probably EA, because they're pretty safe to blame everything on.
And BioWare.
If there had been a KOTOR 3, it should have been... Like, I'm okay with them bringing in a new protagonist for it, but it would have needed to be that KOTOR 3 was finding Revan and defeating the Sith Empire.
That's what I was hoping for. Like, there's so much to talk about in the story. Or have a prequel like the Mandalorian Wars, because like that was like very interesting. But like all the NPCs talk about it, but like what exactly happened there? Like a part of it at least. But no, we got an MMO, like a really underwhelming one.
apparently got better later on, but that's all.
Yeah,
some of the later content is actually not bad.
I just remember like on launch, like it was really underwhelming compared to like how much they hyped it up.
All right.
There's a reason it was called the Tortanic for a long time.
These are 2 super chats from Jake the Surgeon. I don't know what's going on, Jake, but okay. Thank you. I am the best treehouse architect in the galaxy. Awesome.
That is really cool.
I hope you didn't kill any trees today, but if you're doing a good job up there, bravo.
I do. Fuck them trees. Fuck them trees.
No, in order to build a treehouse, you need the tree to be alive.
I thought that was the case.
You also need like wood.
No, fuck them.
No. In Germany, you carve out your treehouse.
At least one tree needs to be alive.
Okay. Here's the second one. Eating a taco is to celebrate freedom and happiness. Interesting. Didn't know that. Is that a Mexican thing? Or
what kind of Mexican mumbo jumbo is that?
Is that a South Park reference?
Maybe it's an ancient Incan reference, and they just sort of tracing it back to our ancestors.
So that's how they died out.
By eating tacos.
They ate Mexican food.
All that cornbread. Oh my God, it's gonna kill you. All right.
She's clearly speaking hyperbolically in reference to the franchise's
no, she is not clearly
speaking hyperbolically. In 30 years. This is
so this is not clear at all to be hyperbolic, but the any counter argument here is not allowed to be hyperbolic. What the hell is wrong with you?
All you have
is going to bring the most diversity I think we've ever seen in the galaxy before.
All we have to do...
That's hyperbolic, I guess.
All he has to do, rather, is just show the interview. Was this recorded, or this just written down?
No, this was a written interview for, I believe, for that
So
magazine.
He's trying to put in tone and interpretation to one woman's words. So he's putting tone into her words.
Yes, and why does she get endless amounts of charity?
Because she is a Mary Sue.
Black woman.
We are just at the beginning of that change, a hyperbolic statement.
Which one is hyperbolic?
How is that ever a hyperbolic statement?
There is no hyperbolic language in here.
Maybe she's joking about the droids and aliens because there are a lot, and she's saying, well, it's not really about the entire galaxy. We've seen at least 24 different aliens in the first film and subsequent films. It's not about that diversity. It's really, really about, hiring actors. It's like, well, you do hire actors that have different skin tones, and you can't see them because they're all painted up in a droid body or whatever. So you also hire midgets. I mean, there's all kinds of people you hire.
Yeah. Even interspecies relationships are not relevant. What is relevant is the black African on the screen. Who's fetishizing black people here?
I know, it's kind of funny.
Is this the modern version of minstrel shows?
This is a universe or a galaxy far, far away a long time ago. Whereas you took like cyberpunk or the potential realistic sci-fi from the 70s, where people are all speaking Chinese and they're influenced by Asian culture because that's the most dominant and largest group of people we've got on the planet at that time. Now it's even bigger. So it's like, who cares about a fantasy galaxy world? What does that have to do with anything? It's a silly interpretation, and he is just running with this mindscape he invented, where this woman is actually speaking in a different tone. It's sad. I would stop the video right here, but we just started, so we gotta keep going, because who knows? Maybe he'll say something even crazier.
She didn't mean what she meant.
Yeah.
Then he will surely enlighten us what she actually meant.
All right.
Well, he just did. He said it was obviously hyperbole.
Yeah, but then
it was obvious hyperbole related to the fact that there's only been 3 black characters before.
Okay, there's
only it's not, because there's nothing in her statement that would indicate that it's a hyperbolic statement.
So here's one super chat, one donation. I'm going to try and read these. Jake, thank you again. These are fantastic quotes from the Emperor and Rogel Dorn. Okay.
Must be Mexican history again.
Yeah. Mexican Warhammer.
Oh. Interesting. Alrighty.
Probably better than what GW is writing.
Okay, I'm trying to understand what this person wrote, but the name is Testiculator. Is I on Enjoyer? Thank you.
Testicular torsion enjoyer.
Torsian Enjoyer?
Torsion.
Torsion.
It's
when your balls like twist one day randomly.
Oh my
yes.
God!
You can die from it.
Jesus.
Yeah, either your testicles will die. Like, it'll be extremely painful. You'll know you'll have it, so they'll get fucking
Yes, and
swollen
you better-
up and
Okay.
Get yourself to the hospital.
Jesus.
Yeah.
If you could walk.
It's a pretty fucking simple procedure. They just essentially like split your nutsack open, untwist your ball, and then
Okay. All right. Anyway,
sew you back up, give you some painkillers.
let's get back to
Speaking from experience, so
the donation.
No, I'm speaking from Hannibal Burris' experience.
So here,
oh god.
here's the double quote. Here's a double quote. No, you guys, my black waifu isn't an irrational effing retard. She was being hyperbolic. Good God. My sir, I am speaking to the original poster. This lady is never going to have sex with you. I won't even bother saying I hope she sees this, bro, because she won't.
This is the distilled essence of that Merc D English picture where it like the fat guy with the knives saying leave the multi-million-dollar company alone.
Oh.
Exactly.
Okay, well, we've got another 8 minutes of this, dude. I don't know how.
Oh, this is going to be a painful 4 hours trying to get through the rest of this.
We're pausing every 10 seconds, at least.
It sounded like that's the exact same tone of voice I expected to hear from someone like, "Oh, your puppy's got cancer." Like, oh.
At least
Let's go.
we can continue. Let's go.
Slightly clearer in the full article, which we'll get back to, but come on, it's fairly obvious.
Oh, we'll get
here.
back
No,
to it.
When
okay.
you realise this, that the rhetoric of this shitty meme hinges
not
on
a
an
meme.
utterly unreasonable interpretation of Ingram's words,
It's
the overall
actually
picture
the
becomes
most
a lot
reasonable
clearer, and any semblance of
interpretation of
logic
her
to this
words.
post's complaints
Who's
and
talking in
implications
hyperbole now?
Any semblance of logic. Dude, do you even know what logic is?
All the logic disappears when you assume that I am correct.
Yeah, it's if you... if someone...
When you assume that there's no logic in the post, all the logic in the post vanishes.
I can surely make logical sense...
This is what we're dealing with.
...which is false. I can also make illogical sense, which is true. Even though that sounds contradictory. I can do that. It's
No,
logic.
you can very easily make a perfectly logically sound argument that's completely wrong.
Right, exactly.
Because the premise is false. You can make a logical argument on a false premise. It's easy.
But his idea of even the idea of making a logical statement is just thrown out the door. You're like, wow, really? Because my interpretation is correct. All others are, every single one in the galaxy you could possibly think of is wrong.
Like I said, this guy'd be a perfect Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah. Oh, great career ahead in the Democratic Party.
Like, this is absolute knowledge. Like, guys, I've never encountered someone with perfect knowledge. It's incredible. Okay.
What's it like being omniscient,
Yeah.
British man?
How do you do
Please
that?
tell me.
Logic is just, poof, that's nothing to me. I don't need logic. Aristotle, what is he? Nothing.
falls apart. It becomes extremely clear what's actually going on here. OP doesn't like the fact that Ingram isn't happy with Star Wars' historical lack of diversity, and wants to attack
What
her,
lack of diversity?
her intelligence or her integrity in response. This is yet another example.
No. Whatever there is about the actress is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. The character attributes of the actress is irrelevant. The only relevant characteristic, if that is the right term here, about the actress is, can she act?
Yeah, and this
she
whole
is not
thing
responsible for her character, for the character that she plays.
The interpretation.
And this entire line of argumentation right now is how dare you not give her the best faith interpretation of what she said? Now let me interpret what you're saying in the least charitable way it's possible to interpret what you're saying.
And not by saying anything, just by posting her words and then posting an image of people who are of various ethnic backgrounds.
No, what confuses me, and maybe this is part of the sickness that is Hollywood. What we usually have with actors being interviewed about the characters that they played, it is usually about past characters that they have played in the past. We've seen this in all of these behind the scenes specials, actor interviews of our favorite shows. Star Trek has a lot of these for TNG, for DS9, for Voyager. The Farscape ones are also interesting. And there you see that most of these actors grew into their roles and developed their characters over time. They have this initial stuff given to them, but to really flesh them out and really feel them out, that takes, especially in a series, that can take several seasons. And then they do know something about the characters. They do know something about their history. They may know something about the world if they actually care about the thing they're working on. But what we see with this actress, for example, and a lot of other things where Hollywood just wants to use these kinds of interviews as marketing, where nobody has seen the show. The actor doesn't know shit about the character. That's why she can't say anything. So she says something random that she may believe is politically on vogue right now. Or that the studio told her, well, if you don't know what to say, then say something about racism and stuff. Like on some stereotypical Miss State, Miss Nation competition, where you have the stereotypical blonde bimbo that then says, I am for world peace. I am against world hunger. And that's that. That's basically the depth of what she says.
At least the stereotypical blonde bimbo is attractive and says dumb shit. What's Moses Ingram's excuse?
An ugly dress that looks like mold.
Oh, great.
She has a lightsaber that she could spin 180 degrees.
Oh, boy. Great. That's not retarded.
Everybody said that was stupid in the fucking Rebels show.
Like, I like how they took a joke from SpongeBob and then made it a weapon that's supposed to be actually intimidating.
The bad thing is that they carried it over into a real live-action show.
But y'all remember that fucking scene with the marching band, right? Those two fucking sardines. They're fucking spinning their flags around so fast. They turn the helicopters and crash into a dirigible. That was a joke, people. Why is that a weapon in Star Wars? Why is it used in exactly the same way?
I would be much... At this point, I would be much happier if they just throw out all of this shit and canonize Force Unleashed.
I agree. I think they should get rid of Star Wars.
Just kill all the heroes. That's great.
I would rather have them canon.
Well, no, that's the bad guy ending, Smud. What are you talking about?
That's what that's what you want, right? You want them to just everyone die. That's the point of that.
Well,
yes.
No, I want to get the Rebel Alliance being being founded by the Emperor in order to have a controlled opposition.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what you do.
Yeah, controlled opposition to flush out all the bad guys from the Empire's perspective.
Because then they're all in one place.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here's Jacques Lachan, These Nuts. Remember capitalism only good when minority do it. Another thing to add to the socialist gaslighting billboard, Antifa the group doesn't exist. Antifa is only an idea. These groups of people with flags, an official podcast, and merch don't exist.
The podcast, official merch, riots.
Government funding.
Yeah.
Official associations that you can technically become a member of for tax exemptions. We have that here in town. This is amazing. There is an actual Antifa registered association. Like that's the German terminology for eingetragener Verein. Means it's a registered association. There's a certain runs by certain rules. Everybody can make a registered association. Everybody can make an association, and then you can register it if you want. When you register it, you can then also file for tax benefits. It's basically the German version of an NGO, and they are that so that they can get exemptions for paying rent for the cafe that they are running, where they're just having their conspiratorial meetings, where they mainly discuss how much the other Antifa groups in the town are worse than the Nazis in town.
Now I want a pretzel.
It's great. Like this.
All right. Well, here's a member from Roan Harush. Thanks for the comment. Chuck out Star Wars. It's rotting at this point. I thought you said check out Star Wars. Chuck it out. Okay. Yeah, it's not what we expected from the Obi-Wan series, unfortunately. So.
No, it's exactly what I expected.
Oh, really?
I knew this a while
exactly
ago. It was just like so bad. I wanted to look at it my own, but I felt so dead. I just can't take it anymore.
Like, as soon as I found out black woman in lead role in Star Wars, I figured this was going to happen. Like, and hey, thanks for proving me right.
I do think the trailer used the bad music. They used the wrong. Like, I don't know why they included the Duel of Fates for that Obi-Wan. Like, the tone is off.
It doesn't represent what this show is, and they don't use any of the John Williams music at all. Oh. They have like a new composer, and he produces like the most like mediocre music for Star Wars, and that's already like a problem. Because like when you see Obi-Wan and all those like iconic Star Wars characters, you think of like something memorable, and there's not a single memorable music in this show.
They should have used Rules of Nature.
Wait, didn't they play Duel of the Fates in one part?
The whole trailer.
The trailer.
Well, I know it was in the trailer. I heard that it played in the show too. Like I said, I'm not.
Like there are some flashbacks at the very beginning of the episode. There might be, but otherwise, like the show itself, like it's really empty.
All I know is everything I've heard about it. Yeah, it's exactly what you thought it was going to be.
Star Wars lost beneath mediocrity.
There's like 10-second clip of the entire show that like fits. Like it's Obi-Wan staring in distance, and he sees like Anakin like staring back at him from a distance, like wearing his clothes from Revenge of the Sith, and that's it. Not a single dialogue. After that, like everything is garbage.
When I saw a clip of the Vader Kenobi fight, I thought the more fitting music would have been
Yes, the Star Trek fight thing.
No, that's fun and cool. It doesn't. Obi-Wan does not deserve fun, cool music.
Provided,
but it has that type of.
Obi-Wan doesn't even deserve his own show. Like
I like
you can name it after him.
I like the chase scene in the first, or in which I guess the first episode. The Leia chase scene set to yakety sax.
Yeah,
I like how that one guy got caught on a bush.
I know.
3 twigs on it.
And she dips under that branch, and the guy runs right into it. I'm like, is this Was this a professionally coordinated chase scene?
Also,
Like, it
she
looks
just
like
gives
something
up.
out of a children's movie.
Okay, is this an out of season April Fool's joke?
Is Filoni involved in this? Because this is the type
No.
of stuff I expect from him.
No,
I'm
he's
not
he's
sure.
Not.
But,
This
like,
time not.
Like, it looked like something out of, like, Home Alone.
Yeah.
No, like Home Alone had actual well thought out traps. That was just
Okay, you're right. It looked like something
just
out
a
of Home
stick in the
Alone
woods.
3.
Okay, there you go.
No. Home Alone 5.
So is the
I know I
story
saw
of is the
Home
story of
Alone 5.
Obi-Wan he's evading all these inquisitors and
Yes,
And
like
they're
he's
incompetent?
he's first like trying to protect Luke, but Uncle Owen is like really against it because he has a very negative view on Jedi. So what ends up is Bail Organa fucks up looking after Leia. Leia just goes out to play, but turns out that the Inquisitor lady, who we love so much, has hired bounty hunters to catch Leia Organa while she was playing in the forest. Why is nobody looking after her? Like, no one cares. So she knows that like Obi-Wan and Bail Organa is connected together because she read the archives, and that's already like problematic.
She knows that years ago he served her father in the Clone Wars.
Well, what I'm saying
Yeah,
is,
like how do you know that? What is that thing on the floor? Is that the
smart
script?
enough.
well, this setting could have worked very well as a cat and mouse sort of plot, whereas Obi-Wan's smart enough to, like, he's clever, he's so experienced, and knows the galaxy very well and knows how people operate. He could read their minds or whatever. He would be constantly evading them at every turn. And even though
That would be the idea, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
that's what I
he's not
thought.
smart. Like his brilliant's so dumb. Like he falls for every single trap.
Well, he has to. He's the male character that needs to be subverted, deconstructed, destroyed.
I can't wait for Reva's story to unfold in this Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Like, if you ask any fan of Obi-Wan, like, oh, how would you write a cat and mouse game? And Obi-Wan's the he's the guy that everyone's hunting down. How would you write? Oh, he'd be amazing. He'd be setting up all these traps. He'd be evading traps. He'd be disguised.
It would be a show with
He'd be in disguise the whole time.
Yes, it would be a show with very little action that would be more like a anti-detective story. Because he is the one who's supposed to be found, and we see it from his perspective.
But with the budget of a big movie, and you think in terms of like the way they would make Assassin's Creed games, like there's this big production without all these unnecessary explosions and spaceships. Like, you would have scenes on spaceships, but just talking scenes. You wouldn't have.
Oh my god, like a Columbo, like an anti-Columbo.
Yes.
Like the Inquisitor plays like a detective.
Yes, yeah, but the
one
problem
more
is that
question.
is something that you would actually need to properly write for. And the instance of Organa going to Tatooine, to Obi-Wan, alone is absolute garbage, because Organa is intelligent enough to understand that he is constantly being spied on. Going where Leia is and Luke is the stupidest thing he could ever do.
That is like also like stupid because like Bail Organa has like a lines that like is encouraging to Leia. Like it looks like he's like a better father figure, and then it just like instantly a scene after like it just dumps down. He goes outright to Obi-Wan in person and tells him that like, oh, I need you to help me. There's no one else?
Isn't he a senator?
He is a senator.
Can't
he has an entire fucking planet.
The Senate?
Like if we take the scenario that hey, he reports this because no one else knows that like the kidnapping happened. So they can't get away with this shit. They would just like get Reva and execute her on spot. Mm-hmm. You don't even have to get Obi-Wan involved. And was looking after Luke at this time. That he abandoned his mission.
All right.
Well, yeah, I mean,
just instead of
this show is fun.
Instead, just watch the 20-minute fan film called Kenobi. It is what this show is supposed to be, but good.
All right. Here,
20 minutes fan film has more love and care put into it than this crap.
I would compare like this show, like The Last Jedi, the series, because like instead of Luke being like a depressed old man, it's like Obi-Wan, and it's the same problem.
It does to Obi-Wan what TLJ did to Luke. That's why you say that.
All right.
Yeah, it just creates a new plot hole, which is how did Obi-Wan become such a wuss?
All right, here is a super chat, and then we're going to go to a
Blue
donation.
milk.
Cisco Systar. Humans are self-interested creatures. Push for left-wing intersectional politics because it benefits me. Follow the money, and it's usually a grift. Okay.
Oftentimes.
It's pretty generic, but sure. Okay. I see what you're saying. And the OSHA regulation violator. All right. Remember in The Usual Suspects when Kaiser Soze killed his whole family after they were raped because he'd rather them be dead than move another day after going through this. That's where I am with Star Wars, The Party's Over, boys. That's kind of how a lot of people felt after Episode 8. So
yeah, I thought Kennedy was supposed to be out, but this is just her shit.
Well, once they decanonized the EU, it's like, wow, why would you do that? Just because?
Oh, we have nothing to write from. Well, there's nothing. We have to invent new stuff.
Look at Star Wars or Star Trek. They don't even care about continuity. They're just doing whatever they want, and everyone's like, "Is it real? Is it part of canon? Is it a new universe?" Like, no one knows, and no one cares, or at least the creators don't.
No one cares about the other universes.
They're just doing whatever they want, and if they're lucky, they make. It's like the broken watch. You know, they got lucky with Strange New Worlds. Everything else is absolute garbage. It's weird.
Yeah, I only see money laundering. The millions they throw into these shows, that's not what's on the screen. Nobody wants to watch this shit. Nobody does. Nobody's even pirating this crap. When nobody is even pirating this stuff, that means even less people are watching it.
We're not pirating this? What?
I don't even watch it. Anyway.
What's so crazy to me is when you look at the writers of this stuff, of these kinds of shows, like not just Obi-Wan, but like all the Marvel shows and stuff, it's like they haven't worked on anything. They go from like one episode of a TV show to writing major projects.
Yeah, this is the Star Wars should be the Shakespeare of our time. Like not the man Shakespeare, but the cultural impact of this is the era. This is the big story of the modern day in the West. This is what everybody knows, everybody has heard of, and everybody roughly can tell you what's been going on. Just like everybody can tell you what is Romeo and Juliet. With other pieces of Shakespeare, people may be able to do that a little bit less, but Romeo and Juliet is the big one that everybody can tell you what is that in essence, who are these two named characters from the title. Star Wars, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader. Everybody can tell you that. And this is something that it should be an accomplished honor to be allowed to write for Star Wars. Not some run-of-the-mill idiot from the street who can barely put sentences together and then forgets to use spell check.
All right. 11 minutes in. This is going very slowly, guys, but okay.
Of the time-honoured tradition within Star Wars culture of bringing gatekeeping into conversation with bigotry.
Oh
because,
God, I
again,
wish.
The point being made with this little collage is that this is enough diversity. So why can't you be happy with this legal observation? The poster of this meme seems to ask some imagined diverse conglomerate of which Ingram is a part. There's an amount of ingratitude being projected onto Ingram here.
Yeah,
because anyone else
that's
who feels
what
that Star
she
Wars
said.
casting record isn't diverse enough. And this idea that actors of colour, that people of colour should be grateful to Star Wars and its white fans for being included at all, that's deplorable.
Where is any of that in the post?
Who
is reading into it now?
Mm-hmm.
You just
I don't know.
invented that out of whole cloth.
I don't want your help, guy. I do not want your fucking buck-tooth, no-chin, British help from me, a black guy in America. I don't want it. I don't need it. Go fuck yourself. And anyone who does need it and want it is fucking pathetic. Including the diversity conglomeration that exists but you don't believe exists.
Mm-hmm. Of which he is nothing but the current spokesperson that they're burning in the wind. Because that's what always happens. These people, she's probably not aware that, I will give her that she is not aware that she is just used as a sacrifice in the hopes that finally the audience, the dreadful audience that just doesn't see the beauty of this ideology will finally come around. And if she doesn't, well, it's just another actress. What's her life matter? Because she won't get big gigs after this.
I can't get over like how this all is predicated on, they're giving the least charitable reading of her words in this interview, and then he just makes everything up. He has completely invented this person's attitude.
Yeah, and that's what I've been seeing even
which of course
in
is something I talk about a lot.
That's why I noticed that. The left is not just putting up straw men. They believe in demonic phantoms that they always prop up and chase and accuse everyone of being. This is not just straw men and witch hunting. This is something even more insane and vile. They are inventing demons. And he is doing that right in front of us right now.
It's so wild to me.
Well, here's where he attacks himself because he wants to bring it back down to reality because even he knows what he's saying is crazy. So
does he?
Whenever he does self-referential questions to himself, yeah, I think that's what he's trying to do.
You think he's talking in hyperbole?
No. He knows what he's saying is a bit hard to digest, so he's going to bring it back and say, wait, even though I'm saying this, think about this. He's going to bring another example up.
No, fuck you. I'm going to hear your words and I'm going to take what you say based on the words you say.
Yeah, if you can't articulate yourself well and stand by your words, or at least explain them yourself, that's a failure on your part.
All right.
Why does anyone need someone else to translate your words if you speak the same language? Can't you do that yourself?
Some of you were thinking, gee, pillar of garbage, that's not a very charitable interpretation of this post from you. Gatekeeping, sure, but this isn't racist. Where's the racism? I can't see any explicit racism or any references to woke ideology, so I think you're reading too far into this. If that's you, then listen up, because I'm about to clarify all that. First, so far we've only been talking about this one post in the main Star Wars subreddit, but OP cross-posted it to a bunch of other subs too, sometimes with different titles. Take this one for instance, in r/prequel memes.
Oh, he called her dumb.
That's great.
He made a reference to the prequels in prequel memes. That's still not racist.
Wow, guys, he posted on multiple times the same post on other subreddits. It's so bad.
Yeah, he
called someone
posted and called her dumb.
In fact, he used like a black guy meme to like emphasize like how dumb that actress is.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he's the racist.
Which is titled, "The ability to speak does not make you intelligent." That's a quote from the movies. Fun. It's also extending the Moses Ingram hate from what we already had.
So cool that is
selfish
memes.
ignorance and malicious lying.
You know, it's possible to say someone's an idiot without hating them. This is a very simple thing to say.
Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't need to be she doesn't need to be maliciously ignorant. She can be ignorant without any malice. She can't just be a random dumb actress that just sees the line she's fed, including in these interviews. Because what the fuck does she know about Star Wars? Apparently nothing. So she takes whatever the studio tells her, because she managed to go past the one of the biggest phenomena in Western media history. Somehow she managed that, but then she must get a leading role in one of the new productions about this biggest phenomenon in Western media, despite knowing nothing of it, never having watched any of it. Otherwise, she couldn't say these things. Like, tell me, the biggest thing in Western media, people should be actors, writers, anyone should be. What's the word? How do you say this? Heads over heels.
Are in love with it.
Yeah, heads over heels in wanting to get at it. That should create a culture of competition. Of I want to be better than the other guy. Please do my script. My script is so much better than that other thing. It is so much more amazing, and we would be drowning in good scripts, good ideas for Star Wars shows. Instead, all we get is absolute trash with trash actors. Or even when it's good actors, they're given trash roles that are written like trash. And even they can't save those roles because the characters are not just unlikable, but insane. Why?
I'm not sure what Hawk is talking about, the 13% in relation to beer, but okay. Thank you, Hawk, for that.
1350 is what he's talking about.
All right. Is that a beer alcohol level? What is that?
No, it's a statistic.
Okay.
Oh, 57 on the last one.
All right. Okay.
Wow, you're a really terrible racist, Smud. You don't even know the most basic talking points.
My racism is not the same level as other people. This is true.
Exactly. You need to come to my dojo, submit yourself as my apprentice, and I will teach you my ways.
Come to my seminar.
Octo racism can.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. We're at 12 minutes and a half. Doing okay.
And adding just a general accusation of stupidity. Ha ha ha. This actor wants to see more underrepresented ethnic groups show up in a beloved franchise.
No, this person has said that this person that they don't exist. Like, by virtue of her existing in this movie, there's going to be the most diversity. One black chick.
Mm-hmm.
So now this isn't a very charitable reading, blah 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 blah. And now his further proof is based on the existing idea that the objection to her statement is that you don't want more diversity. And not that she's wrong, and not that she's dumb. That's not the objection. The objection is that her saying this, you opposing this, is because you don't want diversity in Star Wars. It's not because she's making a factually wrong statement. You have to oppose it.
Her statement was not that she wants more diversity in Star Wars. It's that she wanted to start bringing diversity into Star Wars. That it's just started to get diversity into Star Wars for half a century.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't she dumb? Second,
yes.
though, and more...
Oh, I understand what's going on. These people are incapable of understanding time. I have noticed this in several different ways.
Oh yeah,
For
it's
example,
always year zero.
Yeah, and so that is one thing. Another thing is that they do not understand what is oh god, I'm too spent. What's the word? A chronology of events. That when event A happens, then event B happens, then event C happens, then event D happens. But for them, and A causes B causes C causes D. And for them, that just looks bad, so they rather remember it as D causing B causing C causing A. And it's all a mess. But the other order, the wrong order, benefits the ideology better. And of course, they would also leave out an event or make one up. And the other thing is, it's not just always year 0, it's also all the past happens right now. Like, slavery is still going on in the United States, or it had just ended, just now, right now. And we still need to work so hard because of that. Because it's technically, it's still all there. It just hasn't actually ended. It's still, people are still being lynched, still being whipped, being oppressed, being forced to do things because of their skin color, and so on. And it's these activists, whichever skin color they have, do not understand linear time. That was the term I was looking for. They do not understand linear time. It is as if they reject it.
It certainly seems that way.
Okay, let's keep going.
And again, like, and I want to just re-emphasize this. He is saying that the person is mocking her in prequel memes for wanting diversity. No, he's mocking her because she's acting like there hasn't ever been any before. You only can assume that she is wanting more and not wanting there to start being diversity if you use his super generous interpretation of her plain as day statement.
Where he has to completely delete 2 sentences that she said.
Yes.
Also, there's a deeper joke here. By using a reference from a Star Wars movie from the 90s, late 90s. That movie had at least one black character in it. So yes. There's some depth to that joke.
All right, let's keep going.
Importantly, if you're upset that I've been reading between the lines here, looking at implications and
making shit up is not reading between the lines.
Yeah, you have not been reading between the lines. You have been reading a completely different document you wrote yourself.
My evidence is that I made it up. I have seen, and
that's my line, Wisp. Come on.
I know. I just it called for it. Come on. What he just did, as well as the disregard for linear time and causality, is what I've also seen a lot in narcissistic abuse. They also use that, and they will use it blatantly. They will even use it in email and chat logs with you, because they're somehow unaware that you are automatically logging that in your software without flipping the logging on, in most cases. And they will even when you argue with these types of people, they will contradict themselves 3 messages later. And even if they admit that one of their points was dumb and is wrong and have conceded that point, 2 messages later, they will bring that point back up again. You are trying to reason with the irrational. And that is what drives you insane. This is why people in the broadest sense call it gaslighting, because yes, that kind of falls under that. This man is trying to make you believe a reality that does not exist, and is completely counter everything your senses and basic understanding of logic and reason tells you. The most common logical fallacy that is employed in these cases is as well what was it called? Post hoc ergo propter hoc fallacy, by which if you have event A causes event B, the person making the fallacy will claim that instead, no, it was event B, which came after event A, that caused event A. the standard example where this happens is when a gaslighter drives you over the edge, where you finally flip out and get loud or even maybe slap back. The gaslighter will then say, "Oh, I was completely justified in being mean to you because of you just proved that it because you just got loud, aggressive, threatened me, whatever. I was justified in being mean to you before." And then they go around and play victim towards everyone else, telling how mean you were. They drive you to the point of snapping, and then they claim, "Oh, I was driving you to snapping because you snapped."
All right, let's continue. We have 5 minutes left.
Everyone else has viewed this post too. The comments across these posts made the same inferences I've made in this video. That is, latching onto the subtextual suggestion of a woke agenda and so forth.
Okay, so what? This has nothing to do with the OP. Now he's blaming the OP for the comments.
Yes.
The OP is not retroactively racist because other people might have been blaming a certain thing. And I mean, I would have to see and agree that the comments are racist, which, let's see. She's been the worst part of the show. No, nothing wrong there.
Well, yes, because they don't like a black woman.
When most of the fan favorite characters are people of color, you get the point. Has she ever seen Star Wars before? Clearly she hasn't. See, it's not about actual diversity. Oh, there's one guy who makes a reference to ideology.
By pointing out it's all about ideology, not saying what it is or if it's right or wrong.
And like, this is what another one that always gets me is the push for more diversity in things, and the idea of requiring certain numbers of diverse characters in your productions is not a conspiracy. It's Hollywood
what Disney
policy.
Executives said they were trying to do.
It's not just Disney executives. Like, your movie can't be considered for an Oscar anymore unless it hits a certain level of diversity.
Of race mixes. And the BBC has that as well. And if you were looking closely, the show that Smud had recommended to me, what was it? Vienna Blood was a BBC production, where they used a lot of actual Austrian actors for the accents. What's great. However, if you look closely, you could see in this depiction of 1906 Vienna that there were a staggering amount of Asians and black people in Vienna. They were usually more on the background or on the side, but some had more prominent roles in very rare instances. But those were on screen due to the official diversity rules of the BBC. So when the BBC makes a quasi-historical piece, we now have to distort history to make it look as if all these people from all over the world have always been in Europe in these vast numbers. And I'm sorry, that pulls me out of the immersion, because that is not historically accurate, or what is the other word? Authentic. It's just not. It's as if you show me, if you make a documentary about the Germanic tribes fighting the Romans, and then on both sides you have a bunch of Mongols, Chinese, Australian Aborigines, and African black people. Just because you have to have these diversity quotas, and then please show me the Germanic tribe that had all of that, and the Roman legion that had all of that at once in Europe. Because then by that logic, all the other legions need to have that too. And all the other Germanic tribes need to have that too. The Norse tribes need to have that too. It makes no sense. And don't ever think that if they ever make something about African tribes, which they never will because they don't actually care, they won't have those diversity quotas there because they will make it all black. Because it's okay to make an all black movie. That is even an achievement. They even cheer that on as an achievement when it's an all black movie, all black cast, all black staff. Oh, yeah, so diverse. Diversity only means more black people. That's all it does. It is black supremacy. It is black fetishism. It's racism. Simple as.
Okay. He's clearly trying to say that his opinion has merit because people in the comments are like him, which doesn't seem too accurate, but
not like him. They're throwing in. They're arguing for the stuff that he said were the reasons, or the straw version of the opposing view that he built up. And that proves that his straw version was correct because he found a handful of comments that said things vaguely related to what he said.
Also, he tends to put everyone into one basket, even though.
Wow, it's like he's some kind of leftist.
No, his main problem was that everyone was accusing Disney of something that is just part of the woke agenda. So he's already putting those people in the basket. But it's really he's doing the same fucking thing.
It's like he's a bigot.
Well,
he is.
When you use that term of fascism,
he's a very special person.
You already know he's an ideologue if you're using the F word. And considering the topic is about racism, I guess that's fine. But
what fun!
You don't just throw away the F word around like it's supposed to mean something to just the average viewer on YouTube. Like, what are you talking about? Where's fascism?
Yeah, not everyone is a terminally online left-winger like you are, so
scouring Reddit
they're
for
not
racism.
They're not going to automatically know what you're talking about when you start calling people fascist for thinking that someone is objectively wrong by saying there was no diversity in Star Wars.
All right.
And embraced them. This is like textbook dog whistling, and the very visible
what
on a Reddit post, really.
How do you have textbook dog whistling? The whole point of dog whistling is that no one is supposed to know what you're really saying unless they get it. Which means if it's obvious enough, then it's not dog whistling. It's just talking.
He understands the ideology opposed to him so well that he can hear the dog whistles. And of course, when the actress says all these dumb, clearly ideologically possessed lines, that is not an indication for anything. You're not hearing those dog whistles, though you are imagining them.
Since when was interpreting people's words to mean something else some sort of skill? I understand when you have
every time under a socialist regime, because they do this all the time. This is how they live. They constantly reinterpret everyone else's words just as they lie about their own. It is their bread and butter. It is what they breathe.
If you did this with philosophers or mathematicians, you'd be laughed out of the room. You'd be like, what are you talking about, sir? That has nothing to do with Plato or what the empiricists might have said. There is some interpretation, of course, because some of it's very confusing. But you don't just start saying, well, clearly Descartes was a postmodernist, or you wouldn't do stupid shit like that. That's stupid. It wouldn't work, because people know, at least in philosophy, where these eras come from and where the philosophies come from. Is you can't just start reimposing these ideas, especially when you're talking about the common layman, like an actress. I don't think she's anything special about actors or actresses aside from having a good memory. I don't think their skills are anything.
Hollywood actors do not need a good memory. We know that most of them, they need to remember 2 or 3 lines per scene.
Depending, yeah, you could practice a lot.
And then they do the next scene. These are not these.
They have to be attractive.
Most of these people are not stage actors. They're not in a theater where they have to memorize the whole bloody
piece of Shakespeare.
Right, like that's when I look at Brent Spiner with Star Trek. Like everyone knew he had the hardest lines, the longest lines, the most acting, the most like the makeup, everything. Like you had to do all that work. Like he was a linchpin in a lot of episodes and a lot of the series, and they worked on that.
And he also complained that he wasn't allowed to act in TNG.
Right.
His acting is great, but he thought that wasn't acting because he wasn't getting out the big emotions.
Right.
That's why when you see him in other things like Independence Day, he is this big, wacky scientist guy with the big emotions, and he plays those kinds of characters very often because he seems to like to emote a lot.
It's the same with.
But I didn't even know that was the same actor as Data.
Well, that's
for over a decade.
That's the same with any actor. The director goes, "Oh, you're also a carpenter. Well, we're going to put that in the story because you just come across naturally as a carpenter, which is great." And that happened with what's that show called?
Jesus.
With Jesus? What show is that?
You said carpenter, so Jesus.
Oh no, I meant the guy from Parks and Rec. What's his name? He's a woodworker in real life, and he's the typical
Ron Swanson.
Ron Swanson, yeah. I can't remember his real name, but like they put that into the story, and it fit so naturally with his character, and it was beautiful. So that happens a lot, especially with Star Trek. So anyway,
I would love to watch more of Ron Swanson, but because I think he's the greatest character in that show, but I could not bring myself to watch more of Parks and Recreation. If they took out the female main character, it might be bearable to watch. I might be able to get through it, but not with it.
Any show that makes fun of government is fun, I think.
That's okay, but this woman is unbearable to watch.
Remove women bottom text.
She is so unfunny it hurts.
Okay, all right.
It's just cringe humor. I am not a fan of cringe humor. Cringe just does nothing to me. It's just a waste of time. I am happy for all you people who can enjoy that. I might almost be jealous because there's a lot of happiness that I'm missing out on.
Well,
I'm just not.
They do have a very mature casting for Lucy Lawless, so that made it all better. Anyway,
Lucy Lawless makes everything better.
I know. Yeah, she's great. Okay, let's go.
Examples of other bigots detecting and amplifying these elements only makes that clearer.
Bigotry detected.
In case any of you were still
Bigotry detected, opinion respected.
And I do not know. So apparently, this guy is racist because other people apparently had the same idea that he did. That's the giveaway. It's racist because other people came to the same conclusion from different angles.
Mm-hmm. Also, I just need to let this out because
this is what we're dealing with here.
Yeah, the scene with Poe and Finn in the TIE fighter. I hated that. Since when are TIE fighters? Since when do they have two seats? What does a TIE fighter need two seats for?
That could be forgiven that 30 years in technology advancements allows them to have two seats.
In 30 years, it's advanced backwards.
It's not TIE fighters are not advanced technology. They never were. They were not intended to. They were meant to be
There's
flying.
Like such a small thing, Wisp. Like, can we move on? We have this garbage to cover.
No. They were
maybe
meant to be
next time.
flying death traps with cannons mounted on
Next time!
Yeah, maybe we'll talk
Guess
about it.
what? In a real plot twist, an unexpected sequence of events which nobody could have predicted, Moses Ingram has been publicly and directly targeted by racist abuse and death threats in the time since I started.
So this is his smoking gun that this Reddit post was racist, is that Moses Ingram got 2 anonymous Twitter DMs.
Yes, like, Moses Ingram has been called racist things on the internet. It's almost as if she was on the internet.
Wait, DMs on Twitter? So she had her DMs open?
Instagram.
But,
oh, wow.
Yes,
but
she had her DMs open. That's all we've ever seen is 2. That's it.
If it's so bad, why don't you hand it over to the FBI or some shit in whatever you do in the US?
Well, the
Also,
only
actors getting
death
death threats,
threat
that's like-
that she, the death threat she got just says your days are numbered, so no one could do anything about
Everyone
that
has
because it's not
days-
an
days
actionable
numbered.
death threat. Like you can argue that it is a death threat, but it's certainly not actionable by any law enforcement agency.
Depends on the country.
Also, actors getting death
generally,
threats
I
is
agree.
nothing new.
But like that's the smoking gun that this Reddit post had a racial motivation is that other people in the comments agreed, and also Moses Ingram got 2 anonymous Twitter DMs or Instagram DMs.
Actors do that regardless of race and regardless of what they talk about. They just get them. Sometimes crazy people even try to assassinate them because they mistake them for the incarnations of some alien, or because they believe they stole their girlfriend or boyfriend or did something in their dreams. This is sadly a common thing.
Yeah, and also
and the
we
same
don't
happens
actually
to
have...
famous people on YouTube.
Yeah. And the other thing is the only evidence is screenshots that she provided. So we don't know where these DMs came from. We don't have usernames attached to them. We don't have anything. They could be from Disney employees. She could have sent them to herself for all we know.
Like
we don't know anything
famous
about
feminists have done in the past.
Look at you, Brianna.
This is proof of exactly nothing. Precisely, exactly nothing.
Yeah. If there's anything relevant here, you give it to the authorities. End of story.
This is our smoking gun for the evidence of horrible racism in the Star Wars fan base. Is a Reddit post that you have decided is racist and 2 anonymous Instagram DMs.
From the entire internet.
The entire fan base of the largest entertainment franchise, well, what used to be the largest entertainment franchise in the world. It's Marvel beat it out. But that's what we got. That's what we're working with.
It could still be
here.
the biggest, especially with Marvel getting under. Like, Star Wars is the thing that could stay forever. The MCU it's burning itself out either way. Star Wars could be forever.
Maybe. But regardless, a fan base of millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of people. Okay, I'm willing to concede there might be 2 racists in that fan base.
It's almost statistically inevitable.
Okay, let's keep going.
So, like, what have you proven here?
Started writing this video. Wow, what a big surprise. Didn't fucking see that one coming. And it seems like there's a direct causal link between the post we're discussing and the messages she's received.
Oh, please.
Some of the messages
please
which have been made
demonstrate
hinge
this.
on the same context-stripping, direct causal link between the post we're discussing and the messages she's received.
Now he's going schizo. Now he's going
suck,
full
loser.
schizo.
You're a diversity hire and you won't be loved or remembered for this act. That's not racist. She's literally a diversity hire. It is the stated goal of Lucasfilms that they want to increase diversity in their programming.
That statement's about as racist as saying the sky's blue.
Yeah,
like this is the self-admitted company policy of the Walt Disney Company.
Yes, this statement is not racist. It is, in fact, pointing out that she has been hired solely for her race by the racists at the company. That doesn't mean that she is necessarily a racist. Not if we only look at this one. But the company is. It is an accusation that Disney is racist. To say instead that this message here is racist, that would constitute gaslighting, to give an example to that super chat that came before. And claiming that someone is a diversity hire is not just about this racist element, but of course also about you are not competent enough for this. Which is why it's a logical conclusion to then say, well, you won't be remembered for this role. You also won't get ahead, because it's not your acting that's getting you ahead. It's just your skin color.
I seem to recall a prominent black actress in one of the Bond films. There were multiple black actresses, but I think it was Grace Jones in A View to a Kill with that very chic square top. Like that was like, wow, like that looked like intimidating. Like just that her presence and her look, very chic, very. Was it not supervillain, but like mob boss sort of level look? Like that's visually what you want out of a comic book style story. So in this look, I would say, okay, maybe they're trying to go for that look, so you would actually want to hire someone along those lines if you're influenced by that sort of sheer look of the Sith or whatever the Inquisitors are. Are they Sith? I think they're pretty much Sith anyway. So I could understand the look to want to hire a black person, but not because of a diversity hire, but because you're going for a specific look. And you can call that a diversity hire. It's probably more accurate that way in Disney, but I'm not against thinking in a more positive note. If that's the reality of they just wanted a black actress because she looks the part. I'm okay with that. Anyway, here's Otto Scorzeni. Okay. Thanks for the donation. Back in the day, a threat to an actor consisted of a mafioso leaving a decapitated horse head in the actor's bed, and sometimes someone like Charles Chadson would come along and actually do it. Wow, that's a very specific kind of scenario. So
also, remember when Bjork almost had an acid bomb mailed to her?
Yeah. Yes.
Like, that's a threat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was that also racism?
No, it was a fat Mexican giving it to a Scandinavian woman.
She's Icelandic. Yeah.
Icelandic, yeah.
And she is an actress now because she was in the Northman.
Oh yeah, I completely didn't recognize her. I was like, wait a minute, that's who Bjork was playing? All right, okay.
What? She wears wearing a really weird dress is like standard for Bjork. You can't tell who she is. You just know who she is because of the most outstanding
headdress
dress
and everything.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like
Willem Dafoe was also in it.
Well, I mean, he's unmistakable. He also got his cock out at one point.
I just didn't expect because you didn't see his face.
Isn't that just a thing that he does in Robert Eggers movies?
Willem Dafoe just has his dick out.
Like, did that happen? Did that also happen in The Lighthouse?
I don't know.
Sounds for Defoe.
But in any case, so this isn't a racist message, and there's nothing linking it to that random Reddit post.
Which is not racist.
He sees causality.
Yes,
here.
apparently multiple people coming to the same conclusion can't have done it independently.
He is the one seeing a conspiracy now.
You can't narrow it down to who, but it's just because it's a popular post, therefore someone from the post.
Yeah, but then people working together in secret with intention is a conspiracy. So he claims that all these racist attacks against the actress, that is the actual conspiracy. His ideology that openly, well, if it's open, you can argue whether it's a conspiracy or not. But the ideology that just pushes all of this stuff on us, that he tries to gaslight us about, that doesn't exist. Of course not. Still, for decades they're doing this. They're telling us that what they're doing in front of our eyes is not happening in all aspects of politics, and culture. It's not just here in these media that you like. This is what they've always done in politics. These exact same tactics, these exact same strategies. This is what their spin doctoring works like. This is how the media stations, the news stations they control, act and work. It's now just doing the same thing about your favorite thing in media history.
All right.
But it's the same stuff. The one thing that I hope for is that them doing it in this different context will train people in recognizing it as well in the political context.
Okay, so
more easily.
We're at 14 minutes in. We have 4 more minutes left. This is getting bad. So,
well, I want to at least see the other three, the other DMs that she showed. So we can turn the sound off, but I want to break those down just so that we can show my point, which is that, you know, the evidence of her receiving racism is very thin. So,
all right. Here is Tyler Preston for the donation. Thank you. Criticism of Moses Ingram's comment, Pillar of Garbage. Oh my God, Star Wars are full of racist and misogynist harassment of Gina Carano, Pillar of Garbage. Oh, that wasn't harassment. That was consequences of her actions.
Did he actually say that? Like, I believe he said that, but I don't want to...
They usually say that Gina Carano was a Nazi apologist, so
she was saying anti-Semitic things or whatever.
Even though, like, the Jewish community, like, the majority have agreed that, like, those are like, accurate representation of what happened, what is happening at the time.
But you can't ever say that the red socialists are acting like the brown socialists. But because the red socialists say that they are for in protection of the Jews, so they can't be. They're just red socialists.
Either way,
the green socialists are just they just have a paint job.
This is a bizarre interpretation of a bunch of things he read, which is not even worth discussing. But we're doing it anyway. So
no, well, like I said, we can turn the sound off and not actually listen to his inane commentary.
It's inside, you have to mute yourself.
I thought that was the point of your whole channel.
Yep.
Okay, so let's see. What is the next?
Messages which have been made public hinge on the same context.
You're not the first black individual in Star Wars. I've seen this one. It is... I mean, I don't know who sent it, so I guess by sock just logic, it depends on whether or not it was a white person who sent this message, whether or not it was racist. Because
also Star Wars. Why would you make a typo like that?
This does use the A, not the hard R, so. We would have to get a definitive word on the ethnicity.
Also, it's probably
of the
a black guy.
I never understood what the fucking difference is, or why there is one.
I don't know, but my point is, without knowing, can't comment. It's hard to tell from the small image, but not really a whole lot in the way of proof here.
What if he's Mexican?
It's
okay.
I mean, this is a true statement. She is not the first one in Star Wars. So, you know, we're still on factually true statements.
All right. Well,
and then, do we have a donation or something?
We have one more donation. I don't know what this dude's name is. It says Whitey Bulgy Wilgayu. What? I don't know.
What?
What is the message?
Was this a donation or a super chat?
This is a donation, yeah. Gina Carano's anti
Whitey what?
Whitey Bulgy Wulgy Uwu. Wulgy? I can't pronounce it.
Uwu.
You doing all right there, pal?
Gina Carano's anti-Semitic statement. Hey guys, it's kind of shitty to attack people for politically motivated reasons. The Nazis did the same thing by encouraging Germans to attack Jews. It's anti-Semitic to not be a violent psychopath. Yeah, no, what she said. She took a post from someone else that showed what you do when you follow the crowd.
Yeah, she didn't even write the post. Like, it was just it was on Instagram, I believe. It was just a repost of the same image.
Well, she has a public platform, therefore she has a responsibility to fuck off. Fuck off.
All right. Anyway, 4 minutes left.
stripping, over-literalizing, misrepresentation of Ingram's words, which this post
Your
made.
days are not your days are numbered. See, that's the one death threat she got, quote unquote death threat. I mean, it's the one she showed.
The only first
Remember,
idea-
this is all we have to go on is what she showed.
And that line can also be interpreted in different ways, as in your professional career is over.
God,
Also, how people use that line.
I can't count the number of times I've had people tell me that they're going to come to my house and rape and kill my family because I didn't get a fucking 2-0 KDR on Call of Duty.
That you just told that like they're too late with that.
Yeah. Like, play Call of Duty, play any video game multiplayer ever, and you'll see your days are numbered is nowhere near the worst you're gonna get.
Or like early YouTube, like I got like constant threats that like I should kill myself, but like it still.
Well, I mean, you are Hungarian.
Yeah, that's my life. Yeah.
So that's where we are. That's the proof of the awful racism in the Star Wars community. Is
your base belong to us?
Is for Instagram DMs. That's what
that was enough for Ewan McGregor to speak up about.
Mm-hmm.
And all the 20 million species in Star Wars.
Oh, what a cuck.
3PO, please translate this in 20 million different languages.
That Ingram's the first actor of color to feature in Star Wars. So good job r/Star Wars for creating and amplifying the bigoted nonsense which has led to the latest Star Wars creative being attacked by...
The one who spoke nonsense was her, and you are defending it with more nonsense.
So I apparently still had it muted for a little bit. Did he actually show the causal link between the Reddit post and the Instagram DMs?
No, he said it.
That's like congratulations Reddit for making.
Oh, like I didn't miss any words there. Like he just said, I think that there's a link. So good job r/Star Wars.
He said it, therefore it's reality.
No,
yeah. You have to accept his subjective reality as your own, otherwise you're a bigot.
This is wild, man.
This is how all of these people are.
Good job, r/Star Wars. You encouraged this because people upvoted a post.
Anyone still wondering how witch hunts happened?
Like, I want to see this guy go on 4chan for any amount of time without having an aneurysm.
Well, and it's like, have you considered that maybe the link is that multiple people came to the same conclusion about what she said because it's the most obvious conclusion to what she said? Like you seem to be the only person who thinks pillar of garbage that she was being hyperbolic. Nobody else seems to think that. So, maybe you're the one who's misinterpreting the statement here. But I guess that's not possible, is it?
I have a hard time.
Because you're a snide British guy.
I have a hard time imagining that in this case he is not aware of his lying. I have met people who are not. They completely believe what they're saying when they're saying things like this. I'm torn on that with him. I think he knows that he's lying. I think that he knows that he's aware.
It could be.
If he's doing all these double takes, yeah, I think so. Okay.
I think I'm about ready to give up on this now.
Yeah, no, there's no point. We'll go for another minute, and it's just going to be another angle where he's saying it's still racist, guys. Look at this, and it's like, okay.
But look, we're close to the last 2 minutes, which is where the biggest insanity always happens in these videos.
That's got to be covered next week.
I hope the last 2 minutes of this video are. I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Loot Crate.
Well, the last two
Loot
content
Crate.
videos. The last
I don't know.
Speaking of being stuck in some decade.
I just picked something. I could go back to my default Raid Shadow Legends if you want me to.
Yes, that is still relevant.
I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends.
No, it's Nerd Wallet or whatever the fuck.
Dislight.
Or Raycon or fucking
Manscaped.
Nerd Wallet.
Skillshare.
My wallet is powered by Linux. Like, what?
Linux.
I don't know what the hell a Nerd Wallet is. Anyway.
I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Raytheon.
Oh, God.
All right.
Sweaty little incels and fascist morons. And isn't it a funny
Fascism,
how often
fascism
these
is when you don't like Star
circle jerks
Wars.
of gatekeeping and bullying tend to focus on women and minorities?
What?
Fan-led
Because
circle
there's
jerk.
no white actors in Star Wars who said, I'm glad we're bringing more white people to the screen. Nobody said that, so there's no reason to dunk on anyone for saying it. Isn't it nuts how people only counter statements that are actually made? Isn't that crazy, pillar of garbage, that there are people out there who wait for someone to say something before they dunk on them for it? And they don't just make up their opponent's points of view before they dunk on them for them?
Yeah,
Can
that's the
you
good
imagine
people.
that? No, you can't.
Like, every day I wake up and I'm like still shocked that black people exist. Like, can I like wake up from this night?
He fucking opens Discord, sees me in the fucking Pornea zone. He's like, what the fuck?
Why could bears be white?
This circle jerk of incels and fascists are people who think this woman is dumb because she talked about finally bringing diversity to Star Wars.
I still want to know who these fascists are.
Literally, fascism is when you think this woman is wrong for calling herself the first person of color in Star Wars.
Are we the baddies?
I mean, I guess people...
That's enough to make you a fascist. Do we have a backup? Do we have like a 2-minute backup video we can watch instead? Did ER just put something out recently, didn't he? Can we switch?
Well,
Which one?
let's go for one.
I mean, we could
Can
listen
we watch
to
ER's Halo video?
We'll
Can
go...
we make the rest of this cast about the Halo TV show?
No, we do that on the happy day.
We go for another 30 seconds, because honestly, this is not worth our
We
time.
watch ER on the happy day.
But yeah, I want to know who these fascists are. And I imagine if you were a fascist, you would watch Star Wars because there is a really cool big empire that you could look up to. But, but that's...
Oh, this is just...
And that is more and more proving to be the more competent side that you should root for, because the rebel side will just run everything into the ground.
Oh.
Apparently. This is... Oh, I feel
At this point, I'm pro Empire, because then I will at least get some food and interplanetary travel.
Well, it's like that Spaceballs quote, good will always lose because evil... No, evil will always win because good is dumb, or something like that. It's like, look, Star Wars is
I feel like
Spaceballs.
I've gone laughing mad here.
Good. Hey, positive emotions. It's great.
Okay. 30 seconds.
Like, I feel like I've officially lost my mind.
No, that's just what it feels like to be alive.
All right.
Oh,
Is
well, then I
real
don't
big
want any part of
coincidence
it.
there, huh? Part of me is hesitant to describe these people as Star Wars fans, because a wise fellow once pointed out to me that to call toxic vocal minorities fans of a property legitimizes...
I'm sorry,
I
you have
agree.
a problem
We shouldn't
with
call
minorities?
fans of anything.
What's your problem with minorities, pillar of garbage?
Well, they don't listen to what he says, and they don't vote for Joe Biden.
You're not a proper minority if you don't vote for me.
It's all just marketing. They talk up diversity because they think that's what'll get more people watching the show. Then they'll toss her aside from the PR campaign when it's time to make money in China. That's objectively correct.
Uh-huh.
Like, I can see that you downvoted it. See the little harder, bro. That's an objectively correct statement. Preposterous, except for Boyega, whose fin has been wasted on comic relief when he could have played the deserter force. What's wrong with that? Oh, he didn't downvote that, so it's not a fascist comment.
Yeah, it's saying, hey, they wasted this black person. That's inconvenient for his narrative, so he didn't address that.
The only fascist comment here is the one where this guy said, oh yeah, she's not going to get marketed in China, which is true. She won't get marketed in China.
That's the best idea. Is there like a Chinese version of this show, like the Obi-Wan show? Like they censor her to be white or something?
It might not have been released in China at all.
No, like there's a Chinese censorship for blood. And it's all cum.
Oh, like she just has an awkward, like, white skin filter over her. So.
It's just the white light. Whatever she wants.
That's the fucking part I want.
They heavily overexpose every shot that she's in, so she looks white.
Oh, that and they dye her hair red, you know?
Or they just in dark scenes they darken the screen where she's standing, and in day scenes.
So she's just a pair of eyes.
I want to watch that.
And then the bottom one is, y'all keep falling for those articles. They're made to get people mad. I mean, they are. They're made to rile you up and make you think there's this horrible issue with racism in the Star Wars fan base because you saw 2 anonymous Instagram DMs.
Yeah, and just as a reminder, pillar of garbage, you are defending a company that in China fanged a concentration camp where China is ethnically cleansing an entire people, Muslims, by the way, that by your ideology you should be defending, where they rape the women and organ harvest the people to sell their organs to other Muslims that pay for them because they're halal, because they only eat halal food, but they don't consider them the right Muslims. It's like, You are an absolutely horrible person. If anyone's the fascist here, it's you, because you defend the company that works together with concentration camps that do ethnic cleansing. Dude.
Oh, Wisp, I think you missed something here, though. He can't be a fascist because he doesn't think this woman is dumb for saying there's never been black people in Star Wars. And that's what makes you a fascist. You don't remember Hitler's famous speech where he said that there have been black people in Star Wars? It's it was the centerpiece.
I didn't read his second book. I'm sorry.
It was the centerpiece. It was the centerpiece of Triumph of the Will. It was a speech about how there were black people in Star Wars.
It was Triumph of the Force, Axe. Come on.
All right.
So I think we all can agree that Hitler invented Star Wars.
Yes, that's exactly
George Lucas just stole the idea.
Hitler invented Star Wars.
Yeah, probably.
Here is Seek Kyle. Thank you, Seek Kyle. I like
is Star Wars then a German or an Austrian invention?
Whichever's more convenient for.
There's no cake or beer, so I'd have to say German. But...
What? Germans don't know what cake is, Wisp. Did you know that?
What?
They might, but it's not as good as the Bavarian. But either way.
You've never had a good bee sting.
Okay, fair enough. I don't even know what that is.
You don't like have you never had a Black Forest cake before?
Sure, but those are a dime a dozen. You get them anywhere.
Where do you think the Black Forest is?
In Africa, because it says black in it.
You've never had a German chocolate cake?
Oh, I have a sack of torts.
Donau waves. You never had Donau waves?
German chocolate is like my second favorite kind of cake.
Yeah.
Well,
when people ask me what my ethnicity is, that's what I say.
German chocolate.
What? Okay. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Where is it?
Why do I subject myself to this content?
Here's C. Kyle again. I like how Hollywood Black listed Gina for anti-Semitism, yet rallied beyond Mel Gibson after he went on an actual anti-Semitic rant in the 90s.
I mean,
I'd
Mel
have-
Gibson has funded all of his own movies.
Yeah.
Mel
Cool.
Gibson didn't
Anti-Semitic
do-
remarks.
Mel Gibson was
Hollywood-
blackballed from Hollywood for a long time.
Yeah.
Is Hollywood run by self-hating Jews? Because it's always accused of being run by Jews, but then they must be very self-hating if they only ever support the anti-Semitic people.
I mean, the Third Reich was run by one, so why not Hollywood?
Mel Gibson made Apocalypto on his own after getting punted out of Hollywood.
Yeah,
it
they're all passion
wasn't until
projects.
later he started getting work again.
Right.
And the entirety of socialism was invented by self-hating Jews.
I mean, you don't even need to use Mel Gibson when you can just use the fact that they stand behind admitted child rapists. Because I feel like pedophilia is a little bit worse than saying vaguely impolite things on the internet.
Okay, well, here's the
Maybe
rest.
it's just me, but
I'd have said Roman Polanski, but I'm not surprised a group of pedos protect pedos. Well,
that's a fair point. Thanks, Seek Kyle.
not Sikh as in the cultural term, the Sikh S-E-E-K.
Yes, I know. Thank you, Seek Kyle. Very cool.
Okay, all right. Back to...
I wonder what it would sound like if I said your name fast. Anyway.
Ziegel?
So, racism.
Yeah, in Reddit. Here we go.
14
Racism
seconds.
in Star Wars.
Anger and abuse as forms of fan love by maintaining that those being toxic are still genuine fans.
The word
But
toxic
ugly
doesn't mean
truth is
anything.
that in the Star Wars fanbase, I'm getting less and less convinced that this is just a toxic minority.
That sounds like a you problem, pillar of garbage.
My perception of the fandom is slightly different, therefore it's a majority.
Those darned other people are allowed to say things, and I don't feel good about Star Wars anymore.
I wish this motherfucker
Maybe
would
it's because-
perceive Bleach as a martini.
Maybe it's because more and more people in the Star Wars fan base realize that everything being put out by Disney is garbage. And so you're not seeing the mindless drone fans anymore because they're like, wait, this actually sucks. Maybe that's what's going on.
So, memes?
Yeah, let's go to memes.
The memes.
Aww.
Yeah, I'm done with this.
The DNA of the soul.
Here we go.
Expose someone to pill of garbage long enough and they learn hate.
They learn craziness. What are you talking about? Mark is number one. Here we go. Riva is a well-written character. What makes her a well-written character? And then we have that normal.
Yeah, like I sent this reply
I'll
to
show
him.
you in several weeks after the series is over.
I replied to him, yes.
Listen, my man. If this is the quality of your argumentation, if this is any guide from what we've seen here, I'm going to go ahead of the curve and say that Riva must be the worst character in the history of Star Wars.
Wait a second. That's a big order there. I don't know if you could build that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if I'm going by what he's said and he's defending Riva as amazing, then I can only assume that she is an affront to writing.
Ah.
I know, but like, it makes a lot of sense.
Well, if he's going to make a video topic on anything, it's probably going to be questionable at best. But Mark, are you going to do the same, or are you just going to reply to him? What are you going to do?
I'm gonna just post the same image again. Because her character has not evolved anything. In fact, she's getting worse. Because, like, the story excuses her. Like, Darth Vader was about to execute her, like, choke her to death. And then she tells that, like, I let them go on purpose because I put on a tracker. And then Darth Vader not apologizes, but says, like, I misjudged you. He never says that. Even if some officer fucks up,
people.
He goes full on and like, okay, fuck you. Apology accepted.
All right. Whenever any of these people complain about diversity and representation, I'm not diverse enough, needs more black people. Well, that's the normal reaction that people would have, because you look at Star Wars, you say, wow, look at all these aliens. The idea of diversity goes out the window because everything's weird. Everything's different. Don't watch during the stream. Thank you. Definitely. When Streamlab's tips get a tad too based. Where are you, a Fed?
Just Photoshop my head on that little kid. Could be me.
Yeah, you got to be careful with those. I got to censor myself when I speak, so. Girls be like, I'm fighting demons, and the demons is having a job?
Yes. Like, I'm 18. Well, better start an OnlyFans.
I've been doing a lot of thinking, like, oh, boy.
Literally Senator Armstrong's daughter. Like, what the fuck?
The good ending.
Sir, have you been pissing tonight? Is that a beer joke?
I think
That's
so.
an anti-drinking driving ad.
Oh, jeez. If that's even remotely filled with... Well, maybe it's American beer, then it's okay. But if that's like actual beer, you're like, oh, my God.
Fuck.
A lot of bad
The
wine.
9/11 of beer.
Pabst Blue Ribbon? Michelob Gold? I don't know. It's all kinds. The paranoid schizophrenic has found a pattern in the numbers. Thanks. That's great. Love is in the air. Wrong. Gas leak. Oh. Mental gymnastics at work. Cody. Oh, it's Cody. Look at that. We need to stop.
Who is that guy?
I think we covered it once before. The name sounds.
Some bundle of sticks. You know.
We need to stop expecting black women and their stories to jump over extra hoops to prove their validity. We see it in Seneca, Martin Green, Burnham, and Discovery. We see it with Moses Ingram, Reva, and Obi-Wan. They're held to a higher standard, and it enables racism?
No, they're held to a lower standard. What the fuck are you talking about?
No one thinks they need to prove they're valid. The problem is not their stories aren't valid, it's that they suck.
Yeah, but how does this enable racism by having characters of diversity in your stories? What does that mean?
The stories are shit. That's why nobody likes them. The shit Mary Sue stories. Yeah, but nobody likes shit Mary Sue stories aside from narcissists.
It doesn't enable racism. What does that have to do with anything?
It's just a
racism is when you critique things with black people in them, I guess.
Oh,
you don't like my shitty story that I wrote? It's because I'm fat, isn't it?
They're hyper-critiqued.
Same argument.
Every choice is scrutinized. Every action has to be justified to an unrealistic standard. Constantly have to live up to a glorified... No, we only criticize something when it's bad, and we look at everything, because that's all we have to work with, because there's nothing there.
How many videos were made because of the TLG treatment of Luke Skywalker? Like, it doesn't matter, like, he's white. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter, like, what ethnicity the character comes from. If it's bad, we can't talk about it.
Yeah, Disco...
Yeah. Luke wasn't glorified. He was accomplished. Obi-Wan wasn't glorified. He was accomplished.
Disco gets torn apart and... What is Disco? What is he talking about?
Discovery.
Oh.
Star Trek Discovery.
Who would call that...
Someone who has a character limit on their
the alleged
it continues.
The free fans of that show that do allegedly exist try to call it disco because they don't want to use the initials like for every other show.
Okay, this is interesting.
I believe that he's referring to the musical genre.
Well, he's saying gets torn apart and critiqued expected to meet everyone's standards. And that could go two ways. One, it could go to the guys who actually like Star Trek, and two, the people who are so left-leaning that they want their diversity quota and all the sexual quota and whatever other quotas met. So it's like you have crazy standards on the left, and you have like normal, everyday genre and franchise standards on the normal people.
The claim is that they're hypercritiqued. They're not hypercritiqued.
Yeah,
they're just critiqued. They're just more shit than other things. That's why there's more critique.
I honestly think there's nothing in Discovery to care about. It's just so dismissive that I don't even think anyone should be watching it. It's like
so here's one problem. Here's one big problem. He says Discovery gets torn apart and critiqued, expected to meet everyone's standards. Isn't that what you claimed you were making? The show for everyone. You always say you're making these things for everyone, and then everyone, but a few socialist racists, are upset with you because what you made was actually shit.
Then he says the same thing happened with DS9. I was like, no, it didn't.
Isn't DS9
DS9
one of
good.
the better regarded Star Trek shows?
Not at first, but eventually, yeah. That's the problem.
Oh, sure, but TNG was pretty crap at the beginning too.
Oh yeah, that's what happens with Star Trek. It starts.
That's what happens
slow.
with the first season of a show. Usually, is you have to the show spends some time finding itself, and so it gets critiqued. And they see what works and what doesn't, what people are drawn to and what they're not, and they expand. Hopefully, they take that to heart. They expand on the good stuff. They downplay the bad stuff. And you get, the rest of DS9 and the rest of TNG.
I don't think it ever happened with Cisco. Like nobody had problem that Cisco was black.
He was
the
great.
Captain.
I think
he's one of the best.
The criticism of Cisco was more that he didn't fit the typical what we came to expect out of Star Trek captains.
Yeah,
but that's not. That has nothing to do with him being a black guy.
Yeah, it's more to do with his personality and his straightforwardness.
Yeah, he had a very different method than all the other captains we'd seen before that. So
yeah, more military, I would say. Moses Ingram is a spectacularly talented actress, more than qualified for a role, but she...
show examples.
Why are you lying?
But it doesn't matter if she's a good actress or not.
Yeah. It's the lines.
Liam Neeson is a good actress. It doesn't mean Qui-Gon was a well-written character. Yes, I call him an actress because I was using the word actress multiple times. You know what I mean.
It's a repeating pattern.
People can be good actors and take bad parts. It happens.
Here is shitty Star Wars post. If you get offended by racism being called out, do you know what that says about you? Here's Jeremy Prime. Oh, jeez, they're attacking.
The Obi-Wan series is getting a lot of criticism, so we need to label fans racist. So they'll stop. No, that's basically correct. No, he's not getting offended by racism being called out, but you know that Star Wars takes. That's one of the worst Star Wars accounts on Twitter.
It is. It's horrible. But also it tells a lot if you think that someone criticizing a character means that they are criticizing the person behind it.
Yeah, and someone calling out an obvious marketing tactic is getting offended by racism being called. They're not calling out racism. They're ginning up racism. Those 4 Instagram DMs, I genuinely would not be surprised if the IP addresses that they came from were located in Anaheim, California.
Smudcast 3, embracing racism. Okay.
Yeah, boy.
I don't know I'm drunk. Thanks, Hawk. Oh my God, Star Wars.
I like how Hawk has taken over the 9/11 jokes.
He's owned that. Yeah, he's pretty much.
Yeah, he's really good.
Money laundering. All right.
In case you want to watch more original Star Trek, watch Boston Legal.
We just watched the original series.
Yeah, you can do that as well. But you can also watch Boston Legal.
Have you watched the anime?
Only people who watch Boston Legal understand that joke.
I have, actually. Show full of plot holes and retcons. Star Wars fans are racist. I don't think it's just the problem with the retcons and the continuity. It's just the bad storytelling.
There's a lot more.
Yeah.
But this is not the leftist meme, so we didn't want to list all of them.
Yeah. True diversity is diversity of thought, not diversity of color. There you go. That's a nice looking blonde. Or something from a blonde that makes sense. Ha ha ha, no. You could be our diversity hire. Me Too Plague. Left wing Leading Parasite. I will watch that. Oh, okay, I know what that is, but I'll watch it later. Making Racism at a Queen Tribute.
You doxed yourself.
Punished Bearserker is a CEO of racism. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Succubus, I've tracked down using dating apps. This is Divine Light Concealed Carry Flare Gun. What the?
Okay.
Who
Let's
is
just go out there thought patrolling.
Jesus. More. A well-reasoned argument, the grenade I threw into their house. Oh my god.
What
Look
happened
at
to the legs?
Yeah, like he's got a dump truck ass and stubby legs now, and his fucking.
What happened?
Just as Alan Moore intended.
Wow. Wisp is, what the hell is that?
Diabetes.
That is a bee sting.
Is that almonds?
Yes, that is almonds.
And someone got a cream in the middle.
Vanilla pudding.
Okay. I've never seen that before. I've seen the almond before, but
It's a German cake. It's called bee sting because it attracts bees like hell.
oh, is there honey on it?
No, they just like it.
Oh, okay. Also more video I'll watch later. Thank you. This is another cake. That looks very good. That
Smud, I need you to play the Yoda video on stream.
why?
I need you to do it. Do it.
Yoda
Hit the
must
play button.
bust a quick one. What?
Just play. Hit
Is this
the play
gonna get
button.
me?
You're
This is
really
gonna get me
evil.
demonetized.
Hit the play button. Just hit the play button.
It's only
Do it.
okay. It's pretty small.
Do it, you fucking coward.
That was incredible.
I'm not sure what that was, but look at this delicious looking cake. So I can see at least 3 or 4 layers. Is that cream on top, or is that like whipped cream? I'm not sure.
No, it's cream.
It is just cream. Okay, okay.
And yeah, this is a Black Forest cherry tart.
Really
Yes.
interesting. Okay, I've never.
It
seen
will diabetes you.
Yeah, no, I've never seen it made that way, and it's pretty looking fancy.
Mark, why does this piece of cake have a condom on it?
Well, you're in Austria, so you need one.
Yeah.
That is a
For hygiene.
Sachertorte.
All right,
That
look
is-
at that. That is a normal looking.
That is a real cake, yeah.
That's
That is, and you can only get these properly made in Austria.
And Hungary, yes.
Germans are incapable of making it. Oh, they make them right in Hungary too.
And this is
Yes, because he invented the recipe in Austria-Hungary.
there's the classic
okay.
original, the Sachertorte, my favorite style of chocolate cake from Austria.
But if it's not juicy, it is made wrong. The German ones are all dry as fuck.
Juicy? Wow. Stop with the anti-Semitic comment.
I think if
anti-Semitic remarks.
it's dry when you're doing that, you're probably doing it wrong, right?
Apricot can be it could be properly jammy. It could be.
That's not what I'm referring to.
I know.
I'm so happy that I caught the innuendo, but Smut didn't.
I'm in happy cake land. Shut up. Anyway, yeah, we're not doing.
Listen, you can bring jam into it. You don't,
Well, it's apricot.
Food is often used, during those times. Yeah.
I'm okay with these things. Anyway, we're not doing this video anymore. Thank you. We're done. Did we blacklist this guy? I don't know if he's going to be worth our.
We did now.
We did now. Yeah, do it. Do it, Smart.
Oh, right. Before this ends, I remember someone in chat figured it out. I don't remember who said it. This guy sounds like Jim Sterling.
Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
He talks like Jim Sterling.
Well,
Before the
Copying Jim
transition.
Sterling's talking style.
Jim has his own problems. This guy's worse, though. I'd say.
Yeah, but
You think he also
in
is also
I'm talking
diabetic?
about the voice, how he talks.
Like the speech patterns, not just the voice.
Yeah, the cadence and.
Yeah, kinda. Only Jim Sterling talks a bit faster and is, I will admit, at least mildly clever.
He has a lot
This
of
guy,
ego to. What
this guy is just a turd.
I'm leaving a comment on his
Good
video.
lightning.
I'll doubt he'll read it, but let me just hit. Where
Like
is it?
this video was like, I don't even know. Like I don't have anything to even call it.
Yeah,
The best thing you can get out of that, Smudge, is you're also gonna be called a racist.
I know. For anytime you disagree with these guys, you're going to be one of the isms or ists, and it's just how you go about talking to these people. It doesn't matter what you
Well,
say.
you're a phobe now because you called Jim Sterling a him.
If I give these guys an inch just to have a conversation, they will say I'm speaking in bad faith or something. Like it's like whatever. Like okay, I'm just trying to talk to you. You won't talk to me otherwise. So I agree with any of your points. So
This video was a complete schlamassel.
sure, I'll go with that too.
I don't speak Nazi, Wisp. So.
Oh Jesus!
That was Yiddish.
That was a Jewish curse.
Anyway, everyone, if you took anything with this video, go get yourself a birthday cake and make sure it's a soccer torte. You'll be very happy.
Zahir, yeah.
It's delicious.
You will not succeed in making a Sachertorte.
No,
Make any of the other
Don't
three.
make it. Don't even try. Just get a professional. Okay?
Yes.
It will
You
be
Get a
cannot-
professional Austrian.
Get an
This thing is
import one
impossible.
from Austria.
No, don't do that.
This thing is impossible to recreate by non-Austrians or non-Hungarians.
There is a secret recipe just for the what's it called? The topping, the glaze.
Yeah, but it's also the body, and I think it's a genetic thing. If you are not Austrian or Hungarian, as I learned today, you will be incapable of making this. You can go to any bloody little restaurant in any bloody little village in Austria, and you will get a good Sachertorte.
And
It doesn't
Yeah,
work
many
out.
if
other
you're not
cakes,
if you're
too.
not Austrian or Hungarian, you don't know how to put oil in your cake mix. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's.
But you
just
also
not
have to be
possible.
a racist. That's the secret too.
Yeah, the oil will just deflect off of the dough,
The perfect amount of racism.
spread all around the room
Wonders.
instead.
Anyway, so guys, thank you so much for. I don't know why you were with us today, but we wanted to do this. So
I
thanks.
think this was a very funny.
thanks for coming, racist Star Wars fan base.
Yeah, I thought we were going to cover one of the voted videos, so I guess we'll cover that next time. And
Oh, fuck that, I'm here.
And we'll do that. So thanks. Keep voting. Keep suggesting. Well, we're going to slowly get through that huge list, but it's all up to these guys. If you guys want to come on with a video that you recommended, you tell me, and we'll talk and make sure that can happen, because there's lots of videos we haven't gone through, and I feel like we're missing out on some great ones. So
Yeah, there's someone constantly sending me video links in DMs, and I'm telling, send them. You want them covered on the Smudcast? Send them to the suggestions channel, not to me. I'll just ignore this shit. I'm not watching this shit before it comes on here. I don't know how the curators can stand it. I couldn't.
right.
So shout out to our curators. Thank you for getting
Yeah,
through this
I
garbage.
don't watch any of this, so I just I go along for the ride when we actually put them on, unless it's ER, because I watch every ER video like 5 times when he uploads it. So
Alrighty. Okay, guys. Thank you.
we should try to get him on one day.
If he's available, it's hard to get attention. from
Yeah,
these
he-
guys.
He doesn't need
not
to
in-
say anything. He just needs to be there.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, thank
Over
you.
in the corner, and again we get some other people of shadow.
We will talk to you guys later. Thanks again. Have a great evening. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Run away.
N-word.